Start streaming. Okay, we should be live, and in our preview it says 360p, so hopefully it's actually at 1080p for you, and we're going to be on a bit of a delay anyway, but let us know how the resolution looks and if the audio is working properly, and then once I know that, we'll get going. We should be live. Just got a short delay here. They spilled LN2 everywhere. We didn't, but I don't know who that's referencing. Okay, all right, it looks like it is actually 1080p. Cool, nice.
Woohoo!
So we're good to go. This is Joe, AKA Stepongzi, with capital Z.
Yes.
AKA Bearded Hardware. And we're gonna be doing liquid nitrogen overclocking today with Ryzen. So we've got a 2700X. We tried the Lisa Sue signed 2700X as well. We'll talk about that later. And I guess, Joe, you've got a channel as well.
Yeah.
Bearded Hardware. It's linked in the description below.
Yep, I've been slacking lately, but
slacking on
we're going to be changing that, especially before Computex and at
hopefully
Computex.
at Computex too, yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot to do at Computex, so.
Yes, Computex is
going to be a lot of
busy.
fun.
So I think chat's starting to fill up. People say video's fine, sound has too much bass. What kind of comment is that, man? That's on your end. Like, buy different headphones. Too much bass.
Too much bass.
Yeah.
Maybe it's my voice.
Yeah, it's your voice. Just complaining about it. Okay, all right. So I'm just checking chat to make sure everything's still good. I'm looking for people I actually trust to comment. I think Tin was in the chat, XDevs, Tin. So Tin is the guy you might have seen in our videos with Canepan at the XOC lab in Taiwan at EVJ's headquarters. And if you see him in chat, his username is XDevs. And he's got a lot of experience with overclocking as well, obviously, and designing video cards.
Yeah, chicken clocking.
Chicken clocking, as he calls it.
That's his version of overclocking. Chicken clocking.
Okay, sound is fine, stream is Gucci, someone says.
Sweet.
So I think we are good.
Boost the bass.
All right, so let's go through what we're working on, I guess. First of all, 2 quick super chats came in, no messages from either of them, but API Cars, $1, thank you very much, and John B, $1. And that, I guess, will bring me to talking about how expensive some of this stuff is. So this time we actually I almost got screwed on the liquid nitrogen.
Yeah.
But these over here, so these 2 tanks are what we'll be using for the liquid nitrogen overclocking. And today it's Ryzen, tomorrow at the same time, it will be the Kingpin card.
Yep.
So,
2080 Ti.
Yeah, Kingpin 2080 Ti.
Studied that one.
That should be pretty fun. So yeah, LN2, these 180 liter tanks, that one's just fatter, but this one's had a slow leak because it's damaged, but I think we're good.
Yeah.
These it almost was $440 each for these, and then the company called back and was like, actually, we can do $177 each plus taxes. So I don't know where the 50% discount came in, but the cost, though, to give you an idea, it's like $440 for both of these together after taxes and everything. The Doer, I think I spent like $600 on that. That was a new one because, well, used ones are
overrated. I don't know.
Gross.
Yeah, you don't want to ever touch a used Doer because you never know what has been in them before.
Yeah, it might not have been liquid nitrogen.
Yeah, it can be a little
something from a farm.
Yeah,
just leave it
just
there.
leave it there.
Yeah. So yeah, a new one was $600. That's the tax you pay for getting something that's not gross.
Yeah.
And that gives you some basics on the cost.
Yeah.
So that being said, sponsor for the stream before we really get started is the Gigabyte Z390 Master, and there's a link to it in the description below. So it is an Intel Z390 motherboard. It's got actually a finned heatsink on it, which is something Gigabyte's been pushing a lot lately with Ryzen included. And heatsinks with fins, generally a good thing, because then they actually do something. So there's a link to that in the description if you're interested in it.
You mean they're supposed to?
They are actually supposed to have surface area to sink the heat. Did you know that?
Of course.
I think the manufacturers just learned that like in the last year, though.
No, it was X299.
That's true, too.
Yeah,
they really learned it there.
Yeah.
Roman made a lot of friends with that video.
Oh, I know.
The X299 disaster by Der Bauer.
was good stuff.
So, Joe, do you want to walk through some of the components we have on the bench?
Yeah. I don't know if you want to come over here.
Yeah.
So obviously we have, we're using AMD 2700X. We actually went through a couple of chips, not just one. We went through 3. We went through the signed gold one. We went through, and then 2 other samples we have. We're just using any plain 2D graphic card. That's really not what it's about. We're using G-Skill, the Trident Z Royal. I got a little bit of gold and silver on this side. You can't really see over there, but
we could unplug it and show it, but I'm afraid.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch that right now.
It's like overclocking superstition at this point.
Well, yeah. Well, you have this Kingpin T-Rex. This is like an early edition. That thing weighs like a ton, so like trying to move it around, you could cause a lot of issues. So we have the Asus Crosshair. Was it the 7? This is the newer version.
X470.
Yeah, it's a really good board. It's got a upgraded VRM compared to the older version. It's all around really good board.
It's done well for us. The CPUs have been our biggest question mark, so we'll find out today how far they can really go. And I guess on LN2 pot, we were talking about cost earlier. People always ask how much does it cost to get into this stuff. You don't have to go as hard with the components as we've done with some of this, but I think Vince sells these for like $3 something, like almost $400 maybe.
Yeah, I think it's probably around 300. I don't know. If you go to kingpincooling.com, you can actually check which one. This is not a production model, so it's not as pretty. So the newer version is much prettier than that one. So.
But they are and the reason these are expensive, they're low volume, so they're not manufactured a lot, obviously.
Yeah.
And 2, they're really dense, and it's just like all copper.
It's a lot of copper. It's like holding like, I don't know, almost like a bowling ball.
Yeah, they're
weight wise. Yeah, it's really heavy. If I were to throw it at Steve, you'd probably never see him anymore. So.
That's nice, Joe. That's nice. I'm just gonna make sure I forget to hold the hose when I turn the LN2 on later, while you're standing next to it.
You gotta be careful with that. When that happened to me, it actually just went like right across my face like that.
Yeah, so we mentioned that in the video that went up earlier today too. How there was an incident with a glass door previously.
Yeah, and Gigabyte's old OC lab, they had 2 big giant glass doors, and let's just say we were really tired, and I just flipped it up to get more liquid nitrogen, and it came out, went past my head like this, and smashed right into the door. The door literally smashed into it smashed all the way around. It actually stayed on the glass, and then all of a sudden, maybe like 10 minutes later, the whole thing just fell off and just went everywhere. So it's one of my infamous stories.
But it did probably ventilate the room pretty well.
Oh yeah, we didn't have to worry about dying, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, from LN2.
Well, just from glass.
Yeah,
and maybe from the bosses.
I think they were pulling glass out of there for probably they're probably still pulling glass out of there.
I think I saw some near High Cookie's lab.
Yeah, I mean it was a big door.
So I think we got all the parts. We have a 1600 watt power supply for this, which is overkill for what we're doing today, but we like it because there's no overcurrent protection. There's no.
The newer 1600 power supplies are pretty on point, depending on which manufacturer you go. I mean, what is this one, a UVGA one?
That is EVGA T2, yeah. We got some super chats. So, Biking with Panda, $50 Canadian. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Before I read this, I'll note on the super chats, because we start picking up and getting a good amount of them, I will run on like a 30 to 60 minute delay on reading them, but then I read them in batches. So if you don't hear it read, just wait around a little bit, we'll get to it. They are extremely helpful in, for example, paying off the liquid nitrogen I bought and Joe's plane ticket and hotel. Also,
I'm never a cheap date.
That is accurate, yes. We've only been to a few fast food places this time. Hey there, software engineer with Amazon. Come out and ride the trails I build on Vancouver Island. That's pretty cool. When you're out for LTX, I'll be there too. I've been trying to think of what we could get up to together, MTB or storage related, really. Well, if you're at LTX, come say hi. I'll be there with, I think Jay is going to be there, Kyle's going to be there, a couple other people too.
Which one is this?
That's Linus's event in Vancouver.
Oh, nice.
It'll be in July, I think, end of July, yeah, after Computex. Tagged 91, $2. What CPU is this and what monitor is that? This is a 2700X. Is that one of yours? The 2700X, is that yours?
Yes, that's one of the ones I have.
So we have two earlier
Two of mine
samples,
and one of yours.
and then one of mine. That's the gold edition that I guess we'll talk about in a little bit.
Yep.
And what monitor is that? That's old, and this is the Gigabyte Aorus monitor. Corey Schroeder, $4.99. Just bought a mouse pad. Also, hey Joe.
What's going on?
So, thank you for buying the mouse pad. If you do pick up one of our mouse pads today, this one has thermal paste on it. It does not come with thermal paste on it, but we have a blue and white and then a black and blue design. If you pick one up, Joe and I will be signing these at the end of the day after the stream's over. So if you buy one during the stream on store.gamersnexus.net, we will sign any of them that are purchased during the stream. And I might make it easy and just extend it to like later today or something. But buy during the stream, we'll sign them. And black and blue is the newer one, and then blue and white's on there as well. So thank you for picking one of those up. We will get that signed afterward. And then also Joe's got some shirts on beardedhardware.com, right?
Yep.
That one right there.
This shirt, actually, there's only one shirt as of now. But
your beard has a beard with this shirt, right?
Well,
Was that intentional? Or did you just have to lower the beard so your beard didn't cover the beard?
I had to lower the beard.
Okay.
But it keeps growing. By the time I'm going to have that.
You're going to have a new version?
Yeah.
A refresh of the shirt?
Yeah, it's kind of difficult. It's driving me nuts.
Corey Turns, $5. Can't stay on the stream much today or tomorrow due to being at work both days, so I'll encourage you to do more live streams by throwing a few dollars. Well, thank you. We will definitely do a few more live streams. We've got one tomorrow. Wishbone, $2. Thermal Grizzly Liquid Metal Improvement Update. Not 100% sure. If you mean, like, do they have a new version or something, I actually don't know. I have no idea. But other than that, we've done a lot of liquid metal videos, and I think we've concluded all of the ones that we did recently. API Cars, $1, thank you. Ethan Brendamole, $5. Out planting corn, watching the live stream. Doesn't get any better. Hopefully I have a minute to browse the store. Well, thank you. Enjoy
planting corn.
Enjoy planting corn.
Interesting.
It is far more work than either of us will be doing today. Yeah. All we're going to do is pour cold liquid into a copper pot. That's all you do, Joe. Actually, I probably will do even less than you.
Yes.
All I'm going to do is read these. And last one I'm reading for now. Rob Minger, $1, no message. Thank you. So let's get started. I guess we need to insulate this.
Well, not insulate.
What word would you use?
Wrap paper towels around everything?
Okay, we need to wrap paper towels around everything.
When it does get wet, we need to protect the board and everything.
Yes.
We have Vaseline all over the board now, but we want to make sure we try to keep as much water off the board as possible. So we're just going to put paper towels everywhere. It might be a little boring, but.
But while we do that, we can talk about some other stuff like how many people we got in chat right now? We have 2,700 watching right now, not bad. So, while you're doing that, I think people would be interested to hear about the Lisa Su Ryzen processor. So I reviewed this one kind of briefly. I mean, it was like a mini review. And all we did was you test it, validate that, yes, it is the same clocks. No, it's not special. And ours was like 4.1 gigahertz at 1.42 volts or something. Yeah. I couldn't get any higher than that on air.
I tested the same thing yesterday, and it was pretty much like that. And 4.1 was kind of borderline.
Yeah.
It wasn't really.
It is not so unfortunately I lost the Silicon Lottery on that. Yeah. My 2700 does better than that does. So you tested it under LN2.
Yeah.
Because I guess the question is is it binned, especially? And the answer is no.
Definitely no.
AMD doesn't even claim it is, so can't blame them for it.
Yeah.
But we were hoping it was.
Yeah, well, we had out of the 3 chips, that was definitely the worst one.
Yeah, I guess we won't spoil the frequency yet. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, it was a bit disappointing. So unfortunately, the scaling was not any better under LN2.
No.
Does that ever happen though? I mean, do you get chips that are bad on air but pretty good under LN2, or not?
Maybe
really?
With some older ones, but not so much anymore. I was thinking, since I'm not really that familiar with AMD, well, now I am, but before I was hoping, praying that maybe because it all depends on leakage.
Right.
So, but you remember the old NVIDIA cards, a lot of the crappy ones on air, it's you just pump them with voltage, and you get a bunch. But the more voltage you give them, they just shut down quicker. So it just doesn't really help anything, which is kind of disappointing. But maybe with the new ones coming out, whenever they come out, we'll that will change.
Yeah, they are being announced at Computex. We'll both be there.
Yeah.
So AMD has said they're announcing them at Computex, actually. So
yeah, after doing all this,
official.
I'm actually excited about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
3000 series should be pretty interesting, actually.
Because benching these on Colt is actually pretty fun.
So they charge more for the signature. No, the mouse pads cost the same. So the price on the store, you can either buy, it's like a set of 1 mouse pad or 2. And it's the same price it's always been. It's just Joe and I will sign it if you buy during the stream. So you're actually not paying any more for it.
Yep.
I think Joe's 2700X is binned. Is that true? One of the questions.
When I was given them, no.
Yeah.
They were just.
They even said that, right?
They said they are not binned, so they
Right.
shouldn't be like anything epic or anything.
Right.
So.
But we can still push them pretty far because a lot of people, every time, when you and I did the stream previously, it was Intel.
Yep.
Every time I've done streams, I think it's always been Intel CPUs. So this is our first time doing an AMD overclocking stream.
No.
And with liquid nitrogen, should be pretty interesting. It can go a lot further than with air, where with air or with liquid at home, you're really fighting against AMD pushing their chips all the way to the max frequency already.
Yeah, they're definitely more fun on liquid nitrogen.
Yeah.
Because on air, it seems like you get. I don't know how many people have gotten over 4.3. I had one sample that did about 4.3 on air.
Yeah, I think not many.
And that one was actually worse than the other one on air. But I don't think I really tested that one all that much on air either. So.
Yeah, and we typically, our CPUs with the 280 millimeter coolers, they tend to get stuck at around 4.2.
Yeah, and then they just fall. Like, you
Yeah.
know, you can try to give them as much voltage as possible, and they just don't do it.
And that's not necessarily to say something bad about AMD. It
Not at all.
actually, it means that they've pushed their CPUs to like the max they can do already.
Yep.
So there's just not a lot you can do out of the box in most cases. But with a non-X CPU, this is why we typically at GN recommend like a 2700 or 2600 non-X. You do have headroom. You can get up to where the X's are, and you might be able to get a bit beyond, so you can save some money and have fun overclocking it too. Unless, of course, you don't enjoy that, in which case you can buy an X version. So.
But overall, what do they come with stop frequency? Is it like 3.7, right?
Oh, CPU signature, not mousepad. Sorry, someone was correcting me on that.
Oh, they were talking about the actual. Yeah.
Although there was someone who said mousepads earlier, but the CPU signature, do they charge more? Well, one, it's not a signature. It's like it's a laser etch thing.
Yeah. Just has the signature.
It has the signature by machine.
Yeah.
Do they? I think it is like $30 more, but.
But you also get a couple things with it too. I think.
Yeah. So, I mean, in the review, our conclusion was basically, if you're a big AMD fan, and you want like a commemorative thing, and you know it's a commemorative thing, and it's not really special beyond that, beyond maybe getting like the Division 2 or a free T-shirt, which they do also give, then go ahead and buy it. But if you don't care about any of that stuff, just buy the
normal one.
Yeah, because it is cheaper to get the normal one.
Yeah, I wish AMD had like a little like stepping, and in Intel when you see new steppings and stuff like that, then you could tell if it's maybe newer, maybe it's better. Because usually with the Intel stuff, you would have the first release, and then you'd have another stepping after, and a lot of the times they improve stuff. But it doesn't seem like AMD does the same thing.
Yeah, and they probably
maybe
do.
Hopefully changes in the future. But.
Yeah, they may well improve, but I don't think we get an indication.
Yeah, of which
what version it is. Yeah.
Actually, if we look at the box, usually on an Intel box you can tell like what batch and stuff. Does Intel? They have serial numbers. Do you have an older 2700?
No, not the buy. We got rid of all this. But
yeah, they don't give you much detail compared to like Intel does.
Yeah, Intel does a lot of step-in changes over the years too. So AMD's kind of, I guess on AMD's side of things, they've really just gotten back into a controlling position in the the DIY market. AMD's doing pretty well right now.
I think it caught everybody off guard.
Yes, especially Intel, and AMD. It caught AMD off guard too. Because I think,
what do we do?
Yeah,
we're actually good now.
Yeah, like what do we do with this money, guys?
Yeah,
I don't know what to do. Let's put Lisa's signature on something. So as I promote 6 signed mouse pads, we are self-aware.
Yeah,
you can get signed mouse pads from us, but they're not laser etched.
No, they're real.
Yeah. But also, we're not CEOs of AMD.
Yeah,
so
I know, we're not special.
Sorry. All right, so do you have this all wrapped yet?
Yeah, it's all wrapped.
Do you need to cover the memory more, or are you good with that?
I don't know. They're just too pretty. They're the new G-Skill Trident Royals. or Trident. Are they Z Royals or?
They are Trident Z Royals.
Trident Z Royals. Well, I have a gold and a silver one. Like, you got silver and gold. See, that's when we could have used it. I didn't even think about it. But yeah, they. I guess we'll cover it a little bit because.
So it's purely a vanity thing. You just want to see your reflection in this memory the whole time.
You really could see. You could see the beard and the hair.
I can see it.
I know
It's reflecting. So we might cover the memory. Okay. Should I pour some LN2 into the
Yeah, we need
containers?
LN2 before we start. So it's
we
gonna be fun just to watch him try.
Yeah, we filled this.
That thing is filled from yesterday,
It's filled to the top. So this is 30 liters. Someone in chat, do me a favor. I'll try and catch your message, but do me a favor, and just for the rest of the people in chat, go Google how much does LN2 weigh. I guess I don't know, per liter or whatever measurement is out there. This is 30 liters of it. Let us know in chat what is 30 liters of LN2 weigh plus the weight of the doer, because Joe can lift this like chest height pretty easily.
Yeah.
I'm like stuck here.
So I had to help you yesterday.
Yes, that is accurate. So here's the cap for the LN2. It's very cold right now. It helps prevent it from leaking out because it evaporates pretty quickly. These will hold it for a good while, long enough for overclocking. But if you leave it out, I don't know. If you left one of these out,
it will actually stay overnight.
Will
so yeah, it will obviously go out, but you'll get ice around the top because it obviously when it escapes, it's kind of like the doer where it kind of freezes over when you pour.
And the ice is actually a concern. I'll let you explain why. In terms of getting water and.
Oh, so when in your pot, you don't want ice in there because it will actually affect how the metal absorbs the liquid nitrogen. So the more water you have in there or ice, you'll basically have to break down because
you'll start pouring water into the.
Yeah, you're basically pouring water in there. It's not good.
Yeah. So I'm being told 53 pounds, which plus the weight of the doer is.
Yeah, what is the weight of the doer? They gotta be what, 15 pounds?
Probably like 15, 20. Do you want to let's give a primer on like LN2 and safety, just to make sure anyone who wants to try this at home is aware. So it's as it was bubbling out, it was landing on my skin, but it doesn't really hurt.
I think it's called what, the Leiden proof?
It's like Leiden frost or something.
Always
Leiden
forget
frost,
the name
Leiden
of it.
frost.
Yeah. So I use my own theory. Well, the way to explain it, I guess.
The theory name is Joe theory.
The Joe theory.
And what is the Joe theory?
Yeah, it's just I basically if you soak anything, that's when you're going to run into trouble. So you can just pour it. I can pour it on Steve's hair. It's not going to matter. But now if I were to pour it like all the way and soak, that's when you're going to have problems. You can basically cause instant frostbite, and that's something you don't really want.
It actually feels like burning, too.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like freezing.
Well, if you ever burned yourself, it feels the same exact way if you burn. Like, you'll get like a big, I don't know what you want to call that.
Like a blister, I guess.
A big blister.
Yeah.
And the blister hurts, and it pops. It's pretty much just like fire. Technically, I probably think it's a little bit worse, depending on how cold you get.
Yeah, so this liquid nitrogen in that tank is about top of my head, I think it's minus 196.
Yeah, minus 196.
Degrees Celsius.
Yeah, not Fahrenheit.
All right.
Which is like, I think 350 Fahrenheit or something like that.
I have no idea.
I always forget the conversion. Yeah.
So, so it's cold. But, you don't have to be too worried about spilling it on yourself. Just don't like get it in your pant leg or in your shoe or anything where it gets trapped.
Yeah, like socks too. Like, I mean, I'm wearing sandals right now, which is probably not the best approach, but at least I'm not barefoot. Socks, they soak very easily. So like if you ever, like I've had socks before and I've actually accidentally like poured one of these down and I've had the sock on, and that's like the worst thing because the sock basically absorbs all the liquid nitrogen, and obviously that's on your foot, it will hurt.
I think last time the realization in chat was that one guy was like, okay, if I get LN2 and do benchmarking, I'm doing it naked for safety. But
I'm not sure that's necessarily a good idea either.
I think the downside of that.
Maybe with sandals at least.
Yeah, at least sandals.
At least sandals,
but no socks.
Even carpet. So like if I were to pour it on the carpet will absorb it.
Yes.
And then if you step in it, then you'll get burned.
And actually, if you, we'll show it later when I film more. But when you get some on the carpet, like I did after pouring, and you step in it, you'll see this big like steam cloud come up, basically. Kind of cool. All right, so this entire process makes me nervous. There should be more protection and lab protocol observed. Let's talk about things like gloves too. So normal gloves, not a good idea. Like just leather gloves.
Even the liquid nitrogen gloves,
I do have some we can show.
I feel like they're like way over.
So this is
too much.
Yeah, this is like an LN2 rated glove, and if you wear like a leather workman's glove, if it gets on it, it'll freeze it to your skin, and that'll be way worse than if you're bare hands. This, it won't freeze to your skin.
Yeah, but I feel like it still gets through, like when you still get cold.
Well, and you lose all of your
you
control.
don't really get the control of it, which I think is probably, I don't know. I mean, we can get into safety measures all day, but I think it comes to, I'd rather be able to grab it real quick or to do something.
Well, like I'm more likely to spill it like this.
Well, yeah. I don't even think I could probably fit my hand
actually
in
can't,
that thing.
yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I don't use them either. But
So the only place I would maybe use this is if I like for the workplace safety. If I have an employee helping me, not you, because I don't care about your hands.
Yeah, nobody cares about
If
them.
I have an employee helping me, then I might have them use the glove to hold the hose.
Yeah, that's the best part. That's pretty much what I would, to be honest, I wouldn't even use those. I just wrap it around like this.
Yeah, right.
And then just hold it that way.
Or a paper towel.
Yeah, because then you have more interaction with your hands. You don't want to.
This does get really cold though.
Yeah.
So
I don't recommend touching that because you will burn your hand.
Yeah. And then other safety, I mean, you could wear goggles, I guess, but we're in a pretty controlled environment here. We're not using a ton of it, so.
Yeah, I mean, the real safety measure that you got to really worry about is your ventilation.
Right.
So we're in a big room right now. We don't have much of an issue when it comes to that.
And the AC is running.
Yeah, and the AC is running. So you're always having something moving through. If you're in like a small room, it will actually take the oxygen out of the air and you can pretty much die.
You will die, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I haven't died personally, obviously, but.
You haven't?
Yeah.
I came back, but.
You came back?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, actually you did. You are tech Jesus.
So the trick you were showing earlier is, can you light a torch, right?
Yeah, so you know if you're losing oxygen because of a fire won't light. So if you can't do the torch, that means you need to get to maybe go outside or try to get some air in the room that you're in.
Right.
Because we've done that.
Yeah.
Again at the Gigabyte OC lab.
So let's get started. Let's.
You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, I need more liquid nitrogen than this probably.
You need more than one? We're not just going to do one cup and then stop?
I don't know. How lame do you want to be?
All right, I'll let you get started, and I'll pour some more of these if you want to. Maybe let people know what your process is here. Like how much,
I'm just going to get it up on air. I have just a baseline setup right now, where it's just doing about 4 gig, 3600 memory. Just do CL12 flow. It's just basic clocks that I know work on air. I don't want to go too cold too quick. I want to make sure that the whole system's actually running before I try to go in and get it really cold. Because when you're going really cold, it's a big variable that you're going to introduce. And if your system's not working correctly, you're just going to be just in trouble the whole time. So, all right, we're in the BIOS. Let's make sure we can go in the operating system.
I'll check a couple super chats while I pour some more of these.
Sure.
All right, so quick note. Like I said, if you buy mousepad, I'll try and shout them out too. If you buy something from store.gamersnexus.net during the stream, no guarantee, but I'll try to shout out your first name and what you bought. And otherwise, if you buy a mousepad, they are linked below in the description. Then Joe and I will be signing them after the stream today. It's no extra cost on that, so we will be sending those out as soon as we get them signed. And then Joe's got shirts on beardedhardware.com as well. So let's see, super chats. We got a new one from Tactical Burrito System.
That's kind of an awesome name.
That is an awesome name, actually.
I'm very impressed.
Sounds like it's like a mercenary company, except it's just for burritos. It's Tactical Burrito System, $10, thank you. Says, thanks for blowing up hardware so we don't have to. Joe, do you remember what's the last thing you blew up doing this? What's the last component you killed?
It's been a while, actually. Oh, no, I think it was at the Intel event.
Oh, yeah.
When I blew up a couple ASRock motherboards.
The New York event? Yeah. Yeah. You had your, I came over actually and you were switching boards because I think they were just too much condensation on them? Too much water?
Well, the one board, I was benching with the one board pretty much all day the day before. And then what happened was I had this weird chip that no matter how cold I would get it, it would just always freeze. So I'm like, okay, so I started pumping a bunch of volts to it. On the Intel systems, they're a little bit different. You basically need certain volts to go cold, just to even be able to go cold.
Right.
So I pumped this one voltage. I forget exactly which one it is, because on different boards it's a different name. But when I pumped that voltage, the board died. And of course, I was like, probably like 10 minutes before we were supposed to get everything going and have it up for demo. So I ended up having to take that board. I ended up taking a new board and just putting no insulation on it whatsoever. And
so did that.
That's when he came over.
Yeah, that is when I came over. Let's talk. What frequency are you at right now?
Just 4 gig.
Okay.
3600 BEM.
Okay, so that's our baseline then.
Yep.
So is it 4 gigahertz all core? Right
Yeah.
now? Okay.
All core. So 8 core, 16 thread, whatever.
So let me take a note then, just so we can read back this later. We're at 1839 points. Our benchmark today of choice is Cinebench.
Yep.
It's one of AMD's favorite benchmarks to show right now, so we're going to use that because you're probably familiar with the numbers. So our score today starting is 1839. As we continue, it'll become clear like how much scaling there is and what
We
percent
could even go
improvement.
stock if you wanted to. You want me to do a run?
Yeah,
of stock
if you don't mind, let's do a stock
The only
run.
problem is we're kind of cold though.
If we can get a stock run in, we can show,
The only problem with that is I think maybe if it's cold that it will
know,
score it better than it was.
I have a stock run I can pull from our reviews if you want me to just pull one out.
It doesn't matter. I can do it pretty quickly.
Okay, let's run one then.
Yeah.
So we'll get a stock run for you, but 1839 is where we're starting. What was the current high score, do you remember, for this chip? 2700X? It's like 20...
2735, I think?
Something like that.
Yeah,
So,
I think but that's at like 5.7.
yeah. So current high scores, just to give you an idea of scale, it's like 1839 at 4 gigahertz all core up to 2700. So there's your range. And I think it's hardware numbers holds that one right now. So let's see, comments. Rob Minger again, $2. Steve, ever ride the trails in Copper Harbor, Michigan? No, actually, I have not ridden the Northeast at all. I do need to get up there and ride like...
I'm not even sure I'd call that Northeast though.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
Sorry,
Central North?
I'm thinking, yeah, whatever. So, good point. But I have not ridden north of West Virginia or... Yeah, West Virginia is the highest I've gone on the East Coast.
Really?
Yeah.
You should go much higher. Some of the Appalachian Mountains are pretty good.
Yes, I know that.
I need to adjust that real quick.
Diablo in New Jersey is supposed to be pretty good, or whatever they renamed. Mountain Creek, that's it. But
Yeah.
no, I have not ridden.
I used to snowboard there.
Did you really?
Yeah, all the time.
Was it called Diablo then, or Mountain Creek?
No, it was Mountain Creek. Man.
Okay.
I actually worked there when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah, it was fun because I was a part of the snowboard department.
Okay.
So I couldn't afford a snowboard when I was a kid. So I basically got a free rental.
Take their
and I would
equipment?
just basically go almost every day.
That's pretty
It
awesome,
was so
actually.
awesome.
That is cool. Phoenix 1861 199. Thank you. Reply vid to Paul's review. No, I mean Paul. There was a satire review. There's no reason to post anything else because I think his satire pretty much summed it up. I did like the reference to. He had like 4 movie references in there when he was doing the segment where you had the timer in the bottom right and then was just kind of like droning on through stuff. They were pretty good. That was the best me impression I've seen so far.
I don't know. I think I could do better.
Think you could do better?
I think I could.
By failing to lift the doer?
Probably.
Because that'd probably be a good impression as well. I don't know.
Hold on. I need a wig though. My hair's not as long as yours.
Jay has a pretty good wig.
Does he?
Yeah, he was wearing one for the Rip GM
Hold on.
stuff. Remember to lift with your back in a twisting motion, right? Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
That's what they say. When do I listen to that then? Okay.
Don't worry, Joe, I got it.
You sure?
Yep.
Don't hurt yourself.
I'm using my leg. Couldn't get it up with my arms.
I could go so many ways with that one.
Let's see. At a
Anyways.
$50 SEK, Swedish krona, I guess. Carbonaut review when? Smiley face. Tell Roman to send his stuff over to me. He told me Roman just recently said they're sending some Carbonaut over, so if that's true, it should get here from Germany maybe this week.
Was that the little sheets?
Yeah.
Didn't he announce it at
CES?
Or CES?
And the first one he gave us, it got a little bit of a tear in it from us handling it on camera so much. So I don't really want to use it to test because it's kind of damaged. It's like a thin sheet, so you're not really meant to mess with it a bunch. So I'm waiting on that to come in, but yeah, we're waiting on him. Douglas Robinson, I'll read the normal chats in a second. Where'd that go? Douglas Robinson, $2. Put up a timer for the next super chat read. I can't predict it that well, sorry, but I got yours. Thank you for the support. Much appreciated. That'll pay for part of the liquid nitrogen. Lurk, $10. Will we perhaps get an extra long mod mat style mouse pad? Something like keyboard mouse breakdown would be cool. Yeah, so it is in our plans. It's something we've been meaning to work on more for a while now, so we'll eventually get to that for sure. All right, let's take a break on those. What do you have over here?
1848,
which
I think is on the high side.
Okay.
It's all load optimized defaults, so it's it might be Asus a little bit. Is that higher? It's higher than we did before.
Yeah.
Let me just make sure that it actually.
Well, you've got yeah. I don't
We're
know.
also super cold.
It's
not super cold, but -10.
Colder than you would have if you were running it actually stock for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. What's happening is it's boosting.
Yes, XFR. Although this is an all-core load, but
I just put load optimized default. So
okay.
That's basically, but it's at -10 degrees.
Yeah.
So obviously you're sub-zero.
Also, there's some variants run to run with Cinebench too. Like there's.
Yeah. That's a big variance though. You could tell by it's boosting.
Yeah. So anyway,
it's at 4240 right now.
Yeah.
And I was at 4 gig, so mine should actually be lower.
Yeah.
Because this one's technically higher.
Under all-core, yeah. So there's XFR. I don't know. Let's hit run on that on the CPU bench. I forget what the all-core turbo is. Okay. Yep. So it's like 140 megahertz higher all-core.
Yeah.
Well, assuming that's reading all-core accurately. So that makes sense. Yeah. Anyway, baseline is 1840-ish points. 1848, 1839. What's first overclock setting going to be?
Well, I gotta go. I'm gonna get cold.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna do is reset my profile again. Yeah, see that went down. That's because CPU-Z is open. So what I'm gonna do is just reboot, and then go back on the BIOS.
Yeah.
So I usually unplug the SSD because that way it will go right into the BIOS instead of me having to go.
Yes, and potentially missing it.
Yeah, I hate that.
Also gets frustrating when you've got a cold Allen 2 pot on there.
Yeah, when you're really cold, that's like the biggest pain in the butt. Because if you miss it and then it goes in, you can mess something up.
Right.
Especially when you start pushing memory timings and stuff, because with memory, you can actually mess up your operating system pretty easily.
Tin is talking trash right now.
He always talks trash. What else is new?
Chicken clocking, he says. 40 minutes in live and still only -10 C. Well, let's bring it up then.
Okay.
Let's get it moving.
Let's go.
Just to shut Tin up.
That's pretty easy to do.
Tin, by the way, if anyone wants to see who we're talking about, Tin is in our lab tour with Kingpin. That was actually a really good video. He talked through his section of the lab. It's pretty cool. Buildzoid's in chat. Buildzoid says, Asus occasionally does liquid helium benchmarking for very short benchmarks. I think he's talking to some of the other people in chat. All right, so I guess, how's it feel, Joe? You got pressure. You have Tin in there judging you. Is that any different from normally, or?
Well, he does that all the time. You know how many cars he's fixed for me that I broke all the
Oh,
time?
really?
So he's the one that can actually bust my, what,
Yeah.
as much as he wants. Because he's fixed a lot of stuff for me, too. He loves to fix stuff for me.
I want to know what.
Well, I used to break it all the time, but.
What do you know? What normally breaks, or is that all Tin's?
I break everything.
Well, I mean, like what on the card? Do you know? Or?
Like blowing up a VRM.
Oh, okay.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Getting shorts because I do something stupid.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Just not paying attention or slacking really hard. All right, so let's pull down -25. Try to keep this set up.
What voltage are you at right now?
I think 1425.
Okay.
I'm just doing this. I want this system running while I'm bringing it down.
Yeah,
that way, not everything gets cold. And
I should mention that too. So yesterday we were talking about when you were pre-testing the cards on air and how you were running them at like 1.4 or 3 or something.
Yeah,
So
about 1.425.
Yeah,
and then load line of 3.
And that's just for figuring out how well the CPUs do before committing to liquid nitrogen.
Yeah.
So just general safety note: don't like reboot your home system and set it to 1.43 volts if you don't have any serious cooling on it. And also for long-term use, it's probably not very good for the chip. So,
yeah, it could degrade, but
so be careful with be careful with copying the numbers you see today, I guess.
yeah,
Right.
I always take it with a grain of salt. I mean, we're at much lower temperatures, but
Yeah, it's
see,
good to
minus
just
50?
kind of good to iterate stuff too.
Yeah, disclaimer, right?
Yeah.
Let's see, minus 50.
Let's see, what's chat saying? Don't drink the nitrogen by mistake.
I've almost done it a couple times. Because I like to either have like a little bit of whiskey or like a beer or something, and like there's a couple times where I'll be like, yeah, no. Anybody see that?
That's an habit, yeah. Okay, here's a question for you. Vexed in the normal chat says, does LN2 conduct electricity? What would happen if you poured it on the motherboard?
To be honest, not much. It depends. Like, there's certain components that might not like it, so it could shut off potentially. Is it on or is it off? I guess
Yeah,
you're saying
so
when
like
it's
if
on,
it's,
right?
I guess let's do the basics first. Is Joe in the beginning of the stream did wrap paper towels around everything. So
Yeah.
that's step one. Step two is there's actually, even if we took all this off, you've still got a pretty thick layer of Vaseline on the board.
Yeah.
And that's also to prevent it from making direct contact. Well, it's really to prevent the water that drips off the sides from making direct contact with the board.
It's also to make sure it tries to soak up any water, because everything gets cold. So
Yeah.
technically the board is getting cold, but you don't want any condensation to build up and start pooling. So because
Yeah.
otherwise it will cause shorts.
And that's actually why we have this fan here too, because yesterday without the fan here, it was just, it just kind of plumes up over the top. And as all of this LN2 remnant falls down onto the memory,
We were getting the memory. We were basically frozen. They looked really cool, but then they
looked cool
started
as
losing
hell.
functionality.
Yeah, but it did. There's actually a photo on our YouTube community page where you can see some of the VRM heat sinks are all frozen over.
Yep.
So anyway, yeah,
You always need that freezing pick. It looks cool, but it's also dangerous at the same time. You can kill components. So
especially as it turns to water, or primarily as it
yes,
turns to
sir.
water.
Let's see. Okay, let's go.
But it does not conduct electricity, though. It will also evaporate basically instantly. I mean, like, I don't know, can you get a shot
You'd
of
have to
this?
soak the board, and even if you soak the board, it's not going to kill it. Most
Right.
likely, if it's on, it could cause issues. Certain components might not like it, but I highly doubt it would kill it.
Ready, Andrew, for a shot? So, further back here. Okay, I'm just gonna spill some on the floor. You can see like how quickly it evaporates. So it's gone. I mean, that's how fast it is. Like, you can kind of get it out of the carpet for a second, but
Right there.
right here, do one more. So how about like right here? Is that good? So yeah, there's your demo. Looks cool, but it's not like it's water. It doesn't pool there. It just goes away right away. And I guess if you kind of think like it's, minus 196 degrees Celsius, room temperature is like 21, so it's gonna evaporate pretty quickly.
All right. So we're actually much better now. Minus 110. Just going to keep pulling down. Go fully cold.
What's our
Baseline volts?
Yeah, what's our target temperature? Do you know what that chip will handle?
Full pot.
Okay, so minus 190, whatever.
Yeah, minus 196. Yeah, we're at 155 volts with 1.2 on the SOC and then just 1.8 on DRAM. I'm not pushing RAM at the moment. We're going to see how high we can go. The ratio is at 40. Probably set it up to about 5 gig.
Okay. Yeah, Tin's gonna make more fun of you if you don't go faster.
Funny part is, like, when's the last time he benched AMD?
Well, he works at EVGA.
I know.
So.
That's the major question.
Yeah. That's right. Tin, we should get Tin out here sometime. Tin, you're welcome to fly out. If you ever make it over here, maybe you're in California from Taiwan anyway. Get Jacob to book you a flight over here. We'll do a stream together. That'd be fun.
You should come over.
Buildzoid too, also welcome us, of course.
Yeah.
All right, so, and Roman. Last time we were on the stream, Roman said he wanted to come out here because he was talking trash too.
He always talks trash.
And then I told him, you know what? Why don't you come out here and then you can still beat me, but at least it'll be in person on our stream.
What happened?
He didn't do it.
Exactly. Just saying. All right, we're at about minus 130. So I did a run at 5 gig. So if you wanted the score is 2278.
Okay, let me take a note of that then.
Yeah.
So 2278.
Yeah.
That's at 5G. And then you had your original one is at 4 gigahertz, and then we had one that's full stock. Okay. So then let's do a quick percent increase here. 2278 new score versus 1848 for the stock. There's about a 23% improvement.
Yeah. And there's some tweaks and stuff that you could do that make it better, but we didn't really do that during the first one, so we're not tweaking. We just want to see exactly kind of what a default one would do.
That's pretty one-to-one, actually. It's roughly the same percent increase in clock speed to score increase. So Cinebench scales really cleanly.
Yeah, the one thing that's interesting on Windows 10, so apparently if you B-clock, it changes the timer. So we can't really do any B-clock changes. Okay. Which is kind of weird, but on Intel, you're used to doing B-clock to gain an advantage. Yeah. But we ended up getting a timer skew. I'm not sure if it happens on Windows 7, but yes, on Windows 10, it definitely happens.
So then question is, Buildzoid's in chat. Buildzoid, do you know of a way around the timer skew issue?
Well, it was supposed to be either synchronous or asynchronous, and it happens in both.
Okay.
With asynchronous mode, it's way worse than regular. Okay. So
he, by the way, Buildzoid's just talking with chat. And he said he had, where is it? He went all the way to 1.85 volts on his 2700X. I think he's just answering questions about voltage, but. And then Tin says, I think we might do something in the summer. I think he's referring to EVGA's birthday coming up in July. It's like, I don't remember, 20th or something, 18th, I don't know.
Yeah, they're located in Cali like everybody else, right?
Yeah. Buildzoid says Windows 7 is safe for the timer.
I don't know, I gotta test that. Because I've seen Windows 7 when people say, well, Windows 7 is fine for the timer. Well,
we're on Win 10.
Yeah, we're on Win 10, so.
Let me get a couple of the store reads and super chats. So let's do the store stuff first. I'm just going to read a couple of these orders. Can't get them all, but Andrew from Michigan picked up the mouse pad. Thank you, Andrew, for picking that up. We've also got an Andrew behind the camera who deserves some credit for dealing with us for, it will be 3 days by the end of all this.
It's not as easy as you think.
It is not easy. We have Johan from Sweden picking up a mouse pad as well. Thank you, Johan. We have Samuel from Spain picking up a mouse pad. Let me get a couple more here. And then Stefan from Germany. Man, they're all over the world. That's pretty cool. That's awesome, guys. Thank you for tuning in from everywhere. And then we've got one more I'll read here. We have BA from the Netherlands. Also got a mouse pad. Thank you. So like I said, if you buy mouse pads during the stream, we will sign them at the end of the stream today and get them shipped out to you as soon as we can. I brought in a couple big boxes of them, so we've got them all here. And then super chats. Let's see. We have, I got Lurk, Joe, 99 cents, no message. Thank you, Joe. Unexpected at 1440p.
You're welcome.
Is the God damn it.
Sorry.
The next one.
Can't help myself sometimes.
Unexpected at 1440p, 20 euros, thank you. Mr. Odin seems interested for LTX. Just got home from work in time for the live stream.
Yeah, where was my invite?
I don't know. I don't know if...
No, July is kind of a tough month for me anyway. We'll see after Computex.
I would like to... I was telling Linus that I'd like to get some kind of overclockers out there, like liquid nitrogen booth. Because it's always a cool show. You know,
yeah, it's always great for show. Yeah. Everybody seems to like seeing all the liquid nitrogen flowing by and like to talk about it.
Not really something you can work with every day.
Yeah, it's kind of tough.
4,500 people watching, by the way. So.
Sweet. What's up, guys?
Buildzoid says, Steve forgot to close the cap on the doer. It's not a big deal. Replying to someone else.
Oh, no.
It's because people are spamming chat saying, close the lid. Yeah, so those people saying that probably remember from last time when I was like, so last time, big difference from this time. Last time, Joe and I, by the time we started the stream, we had spent the whole day prior doing LN2 prep. The problem was the tank we got from the company that delivers the tanks was leaking, and I don't know if you'll be able to hear this, but I'm going to move my mic over here. And I don't know, can you hear that, Andrew? So that's kind of the sound of the leak. It's louder in person, obviously, but they are supposed to leak to an extent. One sec. We talked about this in the video we put up this morning. They are supposed to leak to an extent so it doesn't explode.
Yeah, you don't want to.
But it's not supposed to leak like constantly, especially high volumes, because this tank is actually damaged. It's got dents all over. Any small movement will like rock the inner chamber.
Yeah, you can hear it. As soon as you just move it just a little bit, it makes an insane noise.
Yeah, and so last time we had a similar tank, except it actually arrived like at least 30% like was gone before it even got off the truck to us. And so the reason I was so serious about closing the lid last time is because all we had was like 30 liters.
We were trying to conserve as much liquid nitrogen as we can because we were basically on a losing battle with keeping it.
Yes.
So.
But this time we have one full tank over there, which we'll probably use for the Kingpin card tomorrow, and then whatever's left in this one over here. So we're not as concerned this time. But last time it was like, if we don't stop doing prep now, we're not even gonna have a stream.
Yeah.
So it was pretty serious last time.
Yeah. Wasn't fun for me.
And this company only delivers on Thursdays, so we wouldn't have been able to get more.
All right, so we're at pretty much full pot now.
Nice.
Just make sure it's running all good. Yeah, it's running great.
Well, that burned a little bit. I had my hand touching the exposed metal part of the handle, and
if you ever see the other ones, I had a couple of these that had the like little metal handle on them. They'll burn you all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, grab it. I'm like, damn it. But yeah, so we have the Kingpin cooling heater under here too. So that way, like, we can bench longer, so we can live stream and bench because when we're at pretty much minus 196, the whole setup will get quite cold and basically useless after a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's what's keeping our system pretty much alive right now. So.
Someone is. Oh, is Roman in here? Where's Roman? Someone said Der Bauer's in here too. There he is. I saw a message from Roman. Roman, when are you going to come out here? No, he said just joining in to see Joe fail.
I love you, Roman.
He's really a nice guy when he wants to be.
He thinks so.
He thinks he is.
He thinks he is. Just wait till I see you at Computex, buddy.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least he's good at something because it's taken him like 3 months to ship me a package. So.
Oh, that's normal.
Come on, Rowan. I'm trying to review your stuff, man. Send me the carbonite.
It's funny.
All right. So, and you're invited out here still, but we might visit you at. I'll visit you at Casekin or something.
That's a cool place, actually.
You've been there?
Yeah. It's been a while now, actually. Maybe a year and a half ago. No, yeah, about a year and a half ago. Yeah, it's a very cool place. That's like hardware heaven right there.
In Germany?
Yeah, in Berlin. I'm not sure if they have a bunch of other places, but definitely a cool place to go. Highly recommended.
We'll do it for sure. Next, maybe for around Gamescom or something. You got Raven Rampkin says, do you accept donations other than Super Chat? Not available in my country. Really? I didn't know that Super Chat was limited by country.
What country is it?
Yeah, what country is it? I'm curious. And Patreon, not instant. I just had to turn on a US proxy and halted it when it requested PayPal. Sorry to hear about that. We do, I think it requests PayPal too. We do have another way. It's on store.gamersnexus.net. You can scroll all the way down. Now, I would rather you, if you're like going to donate to us through the store, we'll get all the money, so it's better technically than other donation methods, but we do like Super Chat because we can read your messages. But if you can't do Super Chat, the store does have a donate feature. If you're going that far, I'd rather you like buy a sticker or something. That way you get something in return. But hopefully that works for you. I think it.
You should get a mouse pad because then we can sign it.
Yeah, you could do that.
Be even cooler.
You could do that for sure. Yeah, we'll sign the mouse pads if you buy them during the stream. But if you're trying to donate less than than that, you're trying to donate $5. I think we have stickers on there for around that price. But okay, let me see what Roman's saying. Roman says, "Ooh, shots fired." Sorry, that's what he said.
That's for sure. Did you expect anything less? Come on now.
So we had someone asking, "Are we at 5 gigahertz yet?" And the
Oh, we were at 5 already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much ready to run.
So let's run some more. What's your next step here?
Well, what's cool, so since in Windows 10 I can't do any VClock, what's really kind of interesting about AMD is that we can actually go up in quarter clocks.
Yes.
So instead of like just 50, we can go up to 5025. So we'll just go out. We'll do what Tin calls
chicken clocking.
Which he's really good at, by the way, because he does it at Computex all the time.
Is that because he's afraid? He's afraid to commit to a big overclock?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just too much for me. I don't know if he can handle it. You know.
Yeah. It's really unfortunate, that
he's more of an engineer, not really an
so
overclocker.
Scared.
Yeah.
Tin is an excellent engineer, though. If you haven't, like I said earlier, if you haven't seen it, check out our lab tour because he's got some really cool stuff in that lab. It's like, have you been to their lab recently? It's expanded a little bit. I don't
think the new one. I've been to, I think the old one.
A couple of years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
So it was expanded a little this time when we went versus whenever we went a couple of years ago, and Tin's got his own section of the lab that's like loaded with all the O-scopes and all that stuff. And then Kingpin's got his overclocking corner. Which one are you reading?
No, I was just the one. Joe, you want more? Pours LN2 motherboard. Groans in pain and pleasure. Sorry, called that one off. That's awesome.
XDevs, Tin says too old for overclocking now.
Yeah.
Too old for overclocking. Let me read
it's all that gray hair he's got now.
It's from all the overclocking.
Probably.
One caused the other.
That is true.
Yeah.
Well, I have like a little patch somewhere, I think like right around here. And that's from overclocking with Tin. All right, so 5025, we're going to go up. We'll just do some chicken clocking.
Okay.
We'll go up kind of one by one.
22, you're at 2288 for...
5025.
5025, 2288. Okay, got it.
All right. So then now we're going to do 5050.
Let me read the super chat while we're here.
If I were to go all the way to the top, then we wouldn't have anything to live stream. Come on, guys.
Yeah, we got to... Well, also, we're going to run into issues at some point anyway.
Yeah, true.
Nori Rivera, $2. Thank you, Nori. Says, shout out to my bestie from Tampa.
Who was it?
Nori?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's
okay.
funny. He asked me if he could be my best friend, and I was like, sure. So that's
Is that all it takes? I've been trying for a while.
No,
man.
you're not my best friend.
Wow. Damn.
Andrew, I think Andrew Burger Boy is.
Andrew. Andrew behind the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. You got the nod. Got the camera nod. Corey Schroeder, $9.99. I found on my personal 2700X the overclocking past 4.2 gigahertz on a Crosshair 6 Extreme was identical to my Crosshair 7 Hero. No difference for me with manual OC.
Yeah, on the 2700X, once you find the limit, it's pretty much the limit.
You get kind of stuck.
Yeah, you kind of get stuck. I've noticed it, like, on the two chips I tested, one did 4.3, and it wasn't going anywhere above that. And then I tested your chip on there, too, and yours was, like, locked on 4.1.
Yes.
So, I mean,
that gold edition chip was not a gold sample.
By buying the other board, I don't think it's going to gain you too much because even with the VRM, I noticed on this one that if you have the LLC set to 3, I think 5 is the top, it liked it more than it liked 5. So having a VRM, I don't think is going to gain too much unless you're on liquid nitrogen. So on the air water, I don't think it's going to buy you too much, but for memory clocking, it will.
Yeah, you get other features, of course, but definitely you will be limited by the CPU. That's somewhat true with Intel as well. You can buy better and better boards, but if your CPU sucks, it's nothing you can do.
Yeah, it's more about cooling when it comes to the CPU.
Yeah.
You can't just make the CPU better.
Yeah, you might be able to, like, on mine, when I was at 4.1 at whatever insane voltage it was, I could have gotten it a little higher if I drove the temperature down, which I could have done with like a bigger radiator, maybe an open loop. But
the thing is with
it just gets
to
ridiculous.
be honest, on Intel, you can actually gain from the VRM. Number one, it will run cooler, but you couldn't gain a little bit of percentage just by the LLC, because if you set up a higher LLC, it's going to push a little bit more on the VRM, and you might be able to get a little bit more out of the chip than you would on a cheaper board.
Right.
But it's not going to be anything much. Maybe 50 to 100 megahertz. But don't expect a gigahertz.
Yeah. Don't expect that going from like a $500 board to a $600 board is going to make or break an OC on a bad chip or something.
Did you mark the score for 50/50?
Let's do that. 50/50. What is it?
2298.
2298. Okay, so we're getting like 10. Actually, it's exactly 10 points each time.
Yeah, it's pretty consistent.
5 gigahertz was 2278. 5025 was 2288. 50/50 was 2298. And then for those who are just tuning in, stock originally with no modifications other than cold, which is a mod, but
yeah, it is a mod, but
it was 1848 for that one. So we're over 20% increase at this point.
That is true.
What are you doing anything special with your OS? I mean, have you stripped down? Obviously, we're not connected to internet, so that's
this
important.
one is not really stripped down.
Okay.
I kind of wanted more just for kind of what an average person would get. Usually with like when we bench, and I'll strip out everything, but what kind of usability is that? So
yeah, like you get rid of the services for.
Yeah, this one is kind of like I would say just optimized more than anything. I mean, there's not much to it. So. Do
you know what Windows version you're on?
That's a good question.
18.0 something.
Is it system?
Yeah, that'll work. Or WinVer.
This is 1809.
1809. Okay. And we are on a 2700X, one of Joe's samples. Let me read a couple of these. We got let's see, Cheridum Tech. Thanks for the great content. Quick question: can you expect better overclocking with a 4790K on a higher end board like a Maximus Hero versus something like a PCI Mate? I don't really remember the board specs on those from the 4790 era, but
4790. That was basically Z97.
I think so.
Yeah. So Z97, the better boards were. I mean, I would expect better clocks. I mean,
it's the same thing we were just talking about.
It's a long time ago. Yeah. The 40. I don't think I ever.
Let's modernize the question. It's similar to the last one. So if we modernize the question, if you buy like $120, like cheapest Z390 board you can get today versus, I don't know, maybe like a $200 one, there does start to be an appreciable difference in the VRM quality.
But I think if you don't go anything Z97 in the first place, then you can't overclock, right?
Oh, I'm talking about like modern, like Z390, cheap Z390.
Cheap Z.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to have, I mean, the CPU, you could probably get up there, but you're going to have to use a lot more volts on the cheaper board.
The VRM is going to run hot, too.
Yeah, it's going to run hot, and it's probably not going to be overall. It probably won't last as long, to be honest.
Yeah, capacitor lifespan is on some of those is
and you're
not great.
Definitely not going to gain memory performance either. And
memory is a big deal, actually.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Yeah. And BuildZoid, who's been in chat as actually hardcore overclocking, BuildZoid he did a Z390 roundup for us if you did want to look at the modern version of that question, because I don't remember Z97 that well. So I think he's got Z390 on our channel from like Christmas time, December. You can check that out. He's got a great roundup of the like actual overclocking differences between them. Let me do one more question here. Lam PLN 25. Thank you. No message. Joshua Bell $2. Just curious, do you guys do local pickup on merch? No, we do not. The distribution center is here, but we still ship it out though. Adam Schumann Sr. $5. Seen you before. Thank you for coming back. Why does Ryzen not OC as well as Intel?
Well, you got to figure Intel. If you have you have the 9900K. Before that, you had the 8700K. Before that, you had the 7700K. Yeah. Before that, you had the 6700K.
Yeah.
Really,
they're all
similar.
Like the same.
Yeah, they're all really the same. So if they're not getting better over a period of time, like they're doing something wrong. But they have been introducing the maturity level on their process is just really, really, really good. AMD came out with Ryzen, and that's the second gen of Ryzen? Or is that like really, this is kind of more of a...
So what we're on is like
show you my AMD knowledge.
Yeah, it's like 1.5. So Zen, it's kind of confusing because there's Ryzen and then the number, and then there's Zen and then the number. Yeah. They're not the same.
Yeah,
so true. Like Zen 2 is what's coming out of Computex. But then there's, I forget what was it, Zen Plus, Ryzen Plus, Zen Plus, something like that. But we're on the middle step.
Yeah.
Zen 1, Zen 2.
So the maturity level hasn't been that.
No, it's only been out
It hasn't been that long.
2 years or
Yeah, you got to figure, when did 6700K come out? Like a long time ago, it feels like.
Let's see.
I was doing events with Intel for the 7700K, and you had 8700K.
June 2015.
Yeah, so you're talking about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So Ryzen's hasn't been out that long, so that's why like when the newest Ryzen comes out, it's most likely going to be better. So the more and more you let it go, and the more as they optimize the process, that's when things are going to get better.
And also Intel does, they're a bit more conservative on their clocks for a few reasons, but AMD pushes theirs pretty close to the limit already, which you can look at two ways. Like one, it's actually really good for the end user because you don't really have to do any work to get the maximum performance you can out of the chip. You do a little bit, but the other way is there's not a ton of overclocking headroom unless you start going really cold.
Yeah.
And we are at currently 5075.
Yep.
So 5 gigahertz. Or
Yeah, it was 2308, so literally
10
again.
points. Yeah, that's pretty
probably
cool.
the most stable R15 I've ever seen.
That is actually really impressive.
Yeah.
So consistently 10-point increases with 0.25.
Yeah. So let's go
gigahertz.
up again to 5.1.
So we're at 5.1 gigahertz all core. Let's talk about the voltages a bit. So where are you set right now for vCore?
vCore, I think is 1.6.
Okay.
To be honest, I was benching a lot, and 1.55 to like 1.6 was pretty good. Like, I mean, after that, it seems like if you need any more voltage and you're kind of at max clocks, you have to pump it to like 1.8, 1.85, and that's basically loss of scale. So it's probably not benefiting you much. Maybe on some chips.
We had that one chip. I don't know if it was this one, but we had one where you were good, like all the way up to 5400 or something at like 1.55 or 1.6, and then after that it was like
that's when it stops scaling. So like if you have little increments of voltage up from your clocks, that's kind of like we judge the scale.
Right.
Now if you go from like say 5.1 to 5.2 and you need like a huge jump, that means it's most likely not going to do anything.
Right.
So I call it loss of scale. All right, so we actually broke our consistency and we're at 23.21
at
for
50.
5.1.
Okay, 51. 23.21. And we got a question in the normal chat. Vexed says, "Is the IHS lapped?"
Not on this one, no. I didn't have time. To be honest, I think it would benefit. We should try it sometime. Not now.
I think we should. You don't want to sand a CPU for the next
we could.
4 hours?
Yeah, we do. The problem with the AMD CPU is that the pins on the back.
Yeah, it makes it a little difficult.
It makes it very difficult
to
be able to handle it. But I lap every chip that I have, usually have.
Right.
So I'd probably take this chip and lap it.
I want to lap this one.
Yeah.
The gold edition with the signature on it.
Maybe we should do that. You got a flat surface? You got any glass?
We can definitely find one.
Usually what I do
What we
is
need
I
is
duct tape, like, say you take the sandpaper sheets, you duct tape them, and then just go into figure eight.
Yeah.
And just keep doing it for
I like
ever.
Vince's spinning discs.
Yeah, that's cheating. He also has a 10 too, which is not fair.
A 10, yeah.
Real men do their own modding.
Yeah, and Vince just uses 10 to do his modding.
I just like busting their balls.
Yeah, of course. You seem to like giving Mr. Dunsky some crap.
Always. It's my job.
So we got, let's see. Oh no, it went away. I think it was from Nori. There it was.
Run again.
Nori Rivera, $10. Some Mountain Dew Baja Blast funds. Thank you for the $10. I think Joe's probably going to use it for Red Bull funds for after today. And then shout out to Richie C77. Dear Steve, please encourage Joe to make more videos. We need more.
I knew that was coming up.
We need more Florida boys on the interwebs.
Definitely coming.
I think you should just rebrand your channel to Florida Man.
Florida Man?
Florida Man.
The real Florida Man.
Yeah. Florida Man overclocks Ryzen.
I don't know. I might have issues with that now. I think there's supposed to be a show like that.
Yeah.
So there might be like
You'll
some
get
problems
sued.
there.
Yeah.
I'll be sued. I'll be slacking too much to try to sue them back. All right, 5125 is 2336.
Okay, 51. So 5.
You notice the scale and score is going up. 2336.
Okay, yes, you are correct.
So from 5.1, interesting. So let's try to go up a little bit more.
Scotty, $5. Hi, I'm currently running an 8600K at 5.2 gigahertz, not bad. On an EK custom water cooling loop at 1.45 volts, will this hurt the CPU over time? So 1.45 volts.
I don't know.
It's hard
It's hard to really say. I mean, I've run the same and never had an issue, and then others have, but you never know. There's so many variables.
There's
in there.
other voltages.
You don't know what voltages you're setting. You don't know what VRM you're using compared to another. So there's a lot of variables to justify it. I would say it'd be fine, most likely.
I think the biggest points of concern are going to be things like on AMD, you have to be really careful with SOC voltage. So where are you right down that 1.2?
1.2.
1.2.
Yeah, 1.2 should be good. Even on air for benching, I wouldn't say daily. With daily, I would try to keep all the voltages down low. Memory is kind of finicky on AMD, so there's a lot of times I have to hit the retry button. So to get even to go, depending on the chip, some chips will go fine. Other chips might not boot every single time. So you have to hit the retry button a couple times.
So yeah, be careful of SoC on AMD. IO and SA on Intel.
You have to be careful with those too.
You have to be careful with those. Yeah.
And it's funny too, but some chips will actually go really high, and some chips won't go that high. So like,
and a lot of the time, what you'll see with those types of voltages is degradation of like the IMC over time, for example. So on Intel, so you might not even know that you're causing damage to it until maybe 6 months or a year later. You can't hold the same clocks anymore.
Well, even on Intel, you have to be careful on some boards, because even if you set auto, depending on what memory you set, it will actually automatically overclock your IO and your SA.
Well, we've had, or volt them, yeah, we've had some old boards actually where auto, they would set vCore, like full 100% auto, would set vCore to like 1.4.
Yeah.
Which is like, and I remember testing that board, and it could hold the same clocks at like 1.18 to 1.2.
Yeah.
And they were auto, so you had all these people saying like Intel, this, I think it was 7700K, is so hot. But actually it was the motherboard like blasting the voltage under auto.
Yeah, a lot of the times, I mean, auto's kind of nice though. Sometimes can you kind of get an idea, but then you could, anytime you do auto, I would say start with auto, find out what it is, and then back off and see if you can get away with the same value.
Yes.
That's usually what I do.
I like doing that too, yeah.
Yeah. That way you're not trying to pump a lot of voltage that you just don't need.
Right.
So you try to go with the least amount. Did I tell you this one?
What?
5150?
5150, I think I got that. What is the score?
2336.
Okay, yeah, I got that.
Okay, so let's go up.
We can fill the stewer up, I think, pretty soon.
Have we gone through most of it?
It's halfway.
There's chicken clocking. I love that term.
5175. What's our score going to be?
2353.
2353, okay.
It's pretty interesting. Once we hit a certain o'clock that we're kind of doubling the score now, aren't we?
What was 5150 was...
2336.
2336. Oh, I already got... That was our 5125 score as well, unless I recorded it incorrectly. And then 5175 was 2353. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's... let me go through some of the parts over here on the bench. So, stuff we have. I guess we'll do the bench components first. Video card is just a 1050.
Yeah, we're not really worried about the video card at this point.
We're actually in, is it Gen 1 PCIe?
Yeah, all Gen 1. So AMD has issues with anything that's higher than, I think, Gen 2. I think Gen 3 is the problem. So you won't be able to go full cold, meaning you won't be able to go to minus 196. You'll probably only be able to go to minus 130. So yeah, we're in. And we need that to be able to get the highest score possible. We need that cold scale.
Yeah, and we're just only focusing on CPU today anyway. Yep. So if you missed it earlier, LN2 pot, this is a Kingpin T-Rex. And if you did want to get into this stuff, he sells these on kingpincooling.com.
Yep.
And then the memory, you've got Trident Z Royals, which we've linked.
They're the 4K bin, so I think CL17.
Yeah, what are you running that at again, 3600?
They're at 3600, but this is AMD, obviously.
Do you know what your timings are? CL?
Actually, well, just bring them up there.
So we'll bring up the timings for you all. The motherboard is a Crosshair 7. I bought this for Joe, actually. we were having trouble getting one from Asus in a timely fashion. And then the power supply is 1600 watt. Did you pull up your timings?
Yeah, so we're basically doing 12, 12, 12, 24, 51, 1T.
Okay, cool.
So that is a base. Which is pretty good. It's, I would say, an average. With R15, you don't really need to push the memory too hard. Sometimes it doesn't like it and go have a negative effect.
I was trying to see if we could maybe show a shot in the LN2 pot of the liquid nitrogen. It might be kind of cool.
It's kind of dark.
We can get a light in there, and then I'll do it after you fill it next time. Your meter turned off.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not much in there. Yeah, you just hit the button. Otherwise, I forget to leave it on, and the batteries die. So
let's.
Did I do the 52 run? Was it 2353?
Yeah, we got that. Oh, yeah, that was 52 also.
No. I don't think I ran it.
Oh, you didn't run it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I set it, and then that's probably what we did with the other one.
Yeah. And I would like to. Next time we fill that LN2 pot, warn me, and we'll get a camera shot down in it so people can see it.
You can fill it up now. It's
Okay.
running low anyway.
Let's give Andrew a second to come over here.
Currently tethered by the audio.
Okay. How close can you roll in? Could always roll on the rails, I guess, but
Yeah, it might be a little bit much.
can't really get over it. Give us 1 second, guys. We're going to try and get you a shot into the LN2 pot. All right. Hold this. Okay. Got him. So I'm just holding the receivers for the audio right now. Andrew's going to try and lift the camera up, and we're going to try and not lose audio. 1 sec. Okay.
You ready?
So pass me that flashlight. Can you see that okay, Andrew, or you need a better light?
I can see it pretty well.
Okay. So here's an LN2 pour. Sorry for the shake, Andrew's holding it over his head. And you can see it starts burning off pretty quickly. So
Actually, hold on. Let me run this too, because then you can see it actually burn.
I
Ready?
think the only thing burning right now is Andrew's arms. Looks difficult.
That's right. We'll give him a burger later.
Oh, there you go. That's a good shot. There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
So you can see the LN2 is like boiling in there, literally. Cool. All right.
Boiling shots are always good.
Yes. Looks pretty cool. All right, we're going to remount the camera. Give us 1 second. Hold that for me. Okay, does this go on this side of the rails or behind it?
You can put it on this side.
Okay, I'll hold it there. Got it, thank you. I'll get this one. So that's the LN2 pot where you can see it boiling off. Thank you. And other stuff we use, so other than the bench components, there's a torch. Someone asked earlier about this. So the question was, what do you use the torch for? You want to take that one?
Yeah, well, it's basically, since we're going really cold, there's a lot of the time, depending on what you bench, you need to heat up. So the easiest way to heat up, I mean, you could use like a hair dryer or a heat gun, but the preferred method is to actually use a torch. So that's what we use to heat it up, because it will heat it up rather quickly. So.
And we used it a lot yesterday.
Yeah.
So you had two things you were doing yesterday. We can show off more equipment here. So I guess one of the problems we ran into was some of that frost on the LN2 containers over here, the Stanley cups over here, would over time just kind of
fall into the pot.
And then you end up pouring water into the pot.
Yeah, and then heating up, it also basically turns the water.
Yeah.
It happens eventually in every pot after a period of time. So.
Yeah, and so Joe had a setup where you were taking this cardboard box and
Called a hot box. Usually what I do is I put it out. So when the system's done, you see there's a lot of condensation that's building up on the side and it's icing up. Well, when everything's done, we need to get rid of that. So one of the ways I do it, I call this the hot box. I'll put a cardboard box on the top and I'll take a hair dryer on it and I'll just sit it and let it run for about 10 minutes. And it will basically heat up the whole system. It's kind of like putting it in an oven in a way.
right, and taking these steps too will help make sure you don't kill components during this process.
that's the trick. I mean, you don't want to keep water on the components, so we're stressing them enough. So you want to try to keep your components alive as much
Yeah.
as possible.
Yeah, insulation's a big thing to do for that. And then instead of a hair dryer. We were just using a heat gun yesterday, and Joe would basically stick that right in there through the cardboard box and heat it up.
Yeah, you just got to be careful. Like I wouldn't want to do it now because I don't want to create more water in there.
Yes,
so
right.
We're trying to keep it alive as long as possible to show you guys as much as possible.
So you're currently at 5250, so 5.25 gigahertz.
Is it? What is the score? I think that's a new score.
5250,
2386.
2386. Scaling has increased.
Yeah, it's so weird to go up a quarter clock. Like usually I'm on Intel, I'm going up B clock a little bit at the time. So it's kind of weird just to do it with the CPU.
Yeah. Ike44, DKK $25. Thank you very much. No message. That JOJ 133.7 RUB. Not sure what RUB is. What is RUB currency? Russian rubles. Thank you.
That's cool.
And yeah, viewers all over the world. Unrelated question: Rampage 4 Extreme or Rampage 4 Black Edition? I actually have that board.
The Black Edition's cool. I would go for the Black Edition.
Yeah, we have that one. He says he's going to overclock a Xeon E5 1680 V2.
I've actually done that.
Oh,
I had one that was like 6 gig, I think.
That same Xeon?
Is Rampage 4 X79?
Yes.
Yeah, I did. I had that. I actually still have that board, the Black Edition one. The Black Edition is the better one. And yeah, the one he's doing, the 6080 V2, is like a better bend. I forget what the chip was there. There was two chips that they had that were, one was a K version or whatever, and the other was an X version. 5960. No, that's
4790K they had, I think. No, that's not right.
that's Z97.
No, there's like a 49.
That's the small platform.
49.
There was a bigger platform. I don't remember if it was 6-core or 8-core, but that's a fun one to bench.
There was a 4960X. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
That might be it. The 4960X. That's the one.
That's the Extreme Edition, yeah.
Yeah, the 4960X. So that chip is basically the same version of that.
Okay.
I think, if it's the one I think it is, because
it's been a while.
It's the Xeon one. It's been a while, but yeah, those chips are really good. To be honest, the best chip I had on there was the Xeon version.
Arik R, $2. Thank you. Tech Jesus came back. Stein's Design, $2. Tech Jesus will never die. I think this is back when I said I came back, when you said I've never died. So we're on a 1 hour latency.
You're supposed to come back, duh.
Let me read through a bunch of these to catch up on super chats, and then we'll keep going. So Kyle Need, $2. Thank you. Steve, will you try liquid concrete overclocking? I think that is maybe a reference to Linus's video, his April Fool's video. It was actually so well done that a lot of people didn't know it was an April Fool's joke.
Really?
And
I didn't see it.
Linus filled a liquid cooling loop with, I think it was cement.
Really?
Like, the liquid form.
Really?
Yeah, and they did this whole joke like, look, it has higher thermal conductivity than water, and all we have to do is keep it liquid, and then it'll be really good.
Wow.
And of course, the joke is they leave and come back, and the loop is turned into concrete.
Yes.
So, Zach D, $5. What's the best way to go about getting an LN2 setup? That's probably, I can take part of that question because I just did it. But let me let you start that one. So best way to start LN2 overclocking.
To start, well, you got to get obviously you need an LN2 pod. You need computer components. My recommendation is to go with the older stuff.
It's
cheap
also
stuff.
less bad if you kill it.
Yeah, the thing is, it's not about if you're going to kill stuff, it's about when you're going to kill stuff. So it's going to hurt the wallet less if you go to certain older components.
Right.
The older components, you have to be kind of cautious because some of the older components can actually be worth more now than they were back then.
Right.
So it's kind of hard to find specifically which one you want.
Yeah, just poke around on eBay and maybe.
Yeah, you gotta look around for deals. I think eBay is a good. The problem with eBay too is sometimes you get bad components right away.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure, like, if you're gonna buy components off eBay, make sure you test right away because a lot of the times you can get bad stuff. I know a lot of guys have been hurt that way.
Yeah.
So, but it's just go with old stuff as much as possible and whatever really fits your budget and what you're not scared to lose.
Yeah.
I mean, I've lost some cards that are worth a lot.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, especially when you're learning.
And it's painful too, and it can also be, what do you say? I don't know. It could be a loss of confidence too.
Discouraging.
When you're gonna kill something.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. Everybody kills stuff. It doesn't matter who you are. I mean, every one of us overclockers, any of the legends in overclocking, basically all have killed stuff. So
Well, that's how you get there, right?
That's how you get there.
Gotta
I mean,
fail,
you gotta learn somehow, right? You learn by failing, and then you basically improve from them.
Yeah,
So.
especially Roman. He's learned a lot.
Oh, he's
by
failed
failing.
a lot.
Yeah, he's really like
He's
in
failing
terms
to
of
come over here.
yeah. I mean, in terms of experts by way of failing,
Oh,
Roman's like #1 easily.
He loves to fail. Epic fail.
Hopefully, Bauer's still in chat, so you can hear that one.
No, he's probably failing at the chat too.
Probably. So to answer other parts of the question, for the hard components you need other than the PC parts, I bought these. These are Stanley cups, I guess.
Yeah.
They were they're like less than $20 each or something.
Yeah, these ones are good ones too. Like I've actually been through a lot of these, and you kind of want these ones too. They have another version of this that basically has like a little metal thing, and the metal, because your hands going like this, will always catch on there, and you'll get burns all the time. I used to get burns all the time on my hands.
I like these a lot.
These are really nice.
The lip isn't bad, so you just pour it straight into the LN2 pot.
Yeah, the only problem with these is if you're benching something like this is full pot, where you just kind of, if there's something that you got to pour quicker, then you can buy little ones. And you can go pretty much to any.
You just get like a thermos.
You can go to Target even and get like small thermoses, or like Dino from Team AU, which now works for Intel.
Oh, okay.
But he used to use like a little cup. You can get the little thermos cups. It's the same thing, like you drink coffee out of it,
right.
or like even the Yetis and stuff you can use. So.
And then the doer. So I forgot to put this back on. I guess surprised chat's not freaking out. Probably works.
Right.
So the doer. This is probably one of the most important parts in terms of getting set up.
Well, yeah, you need liquid nitrogen, and a lot of the times too, like they won't. If you don't have this, they're not going to just give you liquid nitrogen. It's kind of like gasoline. If you don't have an approved container, you can't just pour it in anything. I mean, you can, but it's much harder.
Yeah, you have to sneak.
Yeah, you basically have to sneak. But with liquid nitrogen, they're not going to give it to you unless you have one of these. And most places don't even rent them because they don't have them. So then you'd have to get something like this, and those are a lot harder to transfer into something like this. So it's always good to, I would say, start out with something like a 30 liter.
Yeah.
I mean, you bought a brand new one.
I bought a brand new 30 liter, which is what that is, for $600. You can buy used ones. Be aware that used ones, doers are also used in agriculture for collecting samples that are used for breeding animals.
Yes.
So I think that's the cleanest way for me to phrase that.
Yeah, that is definitely the cleanest way.
So be aware of that. If you buy a used one, I mean, cool, you saved a lot of money, just clean it out.
Yeah.
And
awkward.
And otherwise, if you can find a used one that was used for LN2 by an overclocker, awesome.
Well, actually, all the ones that I have 3 30 liters, and I've had a bunch of them, and I bought mine off of eBay. You got to look for deals. That's the kind of the key. If your budget is low, then if you can definitely find something on eBay. So that'd be my highest recommendation.
You don't need to get these either. So Joe, you were telling me when you would overclock out of your apartment, you'd carry like 3 dewars up the stairs.
Yeah.
So you can just
3 30 liters.
you just bring the dewar down to your local. I mean, Airgas is a common company that sells liquid nitrogen. There are others. You bring the dewar down to your local LN2 seller and ask them to fill it up, and that's how you can start overclocking. So 30 liters wouldn't cost much. 180 liters right there. After I got the discount, because I think they overcharged me by accident, but it was like 177 before taxes for 180 liters. Yep. So if you want,
it's actually cheaper usually to get the bigger tanks, but you can't be in a residential area. You have to be in a commercial area. There's a lot of stipulations, so the best thing is to get one of those, really. Yeah. And if you bring it there, they'll be like, oh, okay, you know what you're talking about, and fill my dewar. And a lot of times they'll do it. Yeah. So. Yeah, and one final note on that, to give you an idea how long these last, this, for the last stream we did, it lasted the whole 4 hours. Yeah. If we were really burning through and not talking, it maybe 2 to 3, but... Yeah, like if you were to not open up the cap and leave it there, it'd probably stay there for a couple weeks. Right. I have one at home that I filled up a while ago. It still had a little bit in it. Right. Obviously, it's going to evaporate, and you're losing a certain amount a day, but doesn't mean you're going to lose all of it.
Yeah, yeah. That was a good question. So what are we at?
Actually, yeah, why don't you mark down, because I think we're at 2397.
So we're at 5.275 gigahertz?
Yeah, it's going up too.
5.275 gigahertz, 2397 points. In Cinebench, our original score was 1839 at 4 gigahertz flat. Let me tweet this link out. I'm going to do some more super chats in a minute. What's Tin saying? Extreme overclocking is like using a pump to feed cat with liquid food nonstop on full speed. That's what Tin said. I think
Speechless.
my absolute favorite thing about Tin, and I mean this sincerely, Tin, is when he leaves out articles. When he's talking, he leaves out like the A or the. Yeah. It's just like, this is a guy who's so ahead of me that he has to drop words.
He's interesting. He's very smart, for sure.
Tin's
Very
fun.
smart.
Tin's fun to hang around with. Let's see. We got a.
He's definitely a slacker, though.
Is he?
Oh, yes.
Who would you put as more slack, Kingpin or Tin?
I don't know. They're both slack. I'm not sure who would be a more slacker.
Well, Kingpin last time, as chat knows.
I don't know, actually, because I haven't had my KP card yet, so it's Vince. It's definitely Kingpin. He's slacking.
Kingpin last time at Computex when we did the OC with him on Roboclocker, chat has heard this before, but kept saying, "She's Dunsky, Steve," every time I blue screen. "She's Dunsky," and he'd run around the other side of the table.
It's so
and
funny.
He'd like wipe some stuff off, like he's working on like polishing some high-end car or something. He comes back and he's like, "Oh, I got her back. She's back." 2 hours later, "She's Dunsky." What's your score? You're at 53 now, or no?
Oh, no, I didn't run.
Let's do 53. 5.3 gigahertz on Ryzen on a 2700X. So we are
Not even a special mint one.
Yeah, not even a special one. So
I'm not special enough.
No.
Yep.
So 1 gigahertz higher than what you were on air.
Yeah. But a heck of a lot colder.
Yes. 2404. And what's the pot temperature right now?
It's full pot.
So minus 187.
Yeah, but it's kind of relative. I don't know if the
plus or
batteries are going
minus
dead in that.
Well,
I think because we've been using it.
The location of the thermocouple.
Yeah, that same thing.
Let's see. Andrew Slattery, $2. Thanks for continuing to put out great content. Well, thank you for supporting us with your contribution. That will pay for a portion of the LN2 today. Reverend Arrow, $2. What CPU is it? It is an R7 2700X. If you're trying to do the 7980XE meme, it's not Intel. You lose. Beardo, 25, $2. Wish you had a red and black mousepad to match my rig. Well, as always, we are open to people making requests. So the black and blue one came into existence because people kept requesting that we make black and blue in addition to the white and blue. So yeah, if we see a lot of requests, we'll make it. But on that note, though, if you buy a mousepad during the stream today at store.gamersnexus.net, you can go there. I've linked to the mousepads in the description below to make it easy for you. You can pick up the black and blue or the white and blue, and then Joe and I will be signing them after the stream. So we'll just do a special signature. We're going to sign them in the top right. That way it's away from where your mouse is if you want to use it. And we might write a couple of notes on some of them. I don't know.
We never do that.
What was one of the ones we wrote on? I think last time
there were so many funny ones.
We had some on the posters last time where like I'd sign it first and write like he's a slacker and just like point the arrow to where your signature was
and
going.
then I'd write something back.
Yeah.
Be like it was Steve's fault.
So it doesn't happen on all of them, but
Yeah.
it might be on a few of them. Yeah, you did have it was Steve's fault. That's
Yeah,
right.
there's a bunch of ones we did. I'm trying to think of a good one because I know we saw them on Twitter a couple times.
Yeah.
There were some good ones.
People were tweeting them out. So if you do buy a mousepad on store.gamersnexus.net, we'll sign them today. Has to be during the stream, though, otherwise it won't be. Let's see. Shades, $5. Shout out to the overclocked rug. Here's something to help out with some of its cooling. Thank you. Lom PLM 25 in summer. US EDT PDT EU BST CEST not EST PST UTC +1 UTC +2.
Hold on, what?
They're upset that I said EST instead of EDT. But here's how I look at time, all right?
You can't win either way, can you?
No. We're on the
It's
east.
actually pretty funny.
We're on the East Coast. I said 1 p.m. Eastern. I don't care if it's EDT or EST.
That's so great.
It's a theoretical scenario that is irrelevant. 1 o'clock.
That just made my day.
Twisted Hardware, $5. Off topic, I'm getting kernel power 41 errors more often. I'm thinking it's the cheaply made Asus Hero 11. What do you think? RM 1099
Kernel
100K.
power errors.
I'm not even sure what that error is. I don't really.
I think that's the one where.
Oh, it's from Event Viewer. Completely shuts down and restarts unexpectedly.
That might be that's probably the board. I actually saw that on an older Asus board that would give me kernel power issues. It was basically the board.
Maybe try updating BIOS or something.
Yeah, maybe a BIOS update would probably help. It's kind of a weird one. I never really found a fix for it. I just basically replaced the board and it went away.
So try BIOS update. You can always, another good thing is to go bare bones, eliminate all of your overclocks, set memory back to stock speeds, and then see if it still happens. And if it does, there's a wider issue. It might even be OS, but if it does,
it's power, so it could be power supply too.
Okay, power supply.
So you never know. I mean, it's kind of a generic error anyway. So.
Well, I'd go bare bones and start replacing components slowly if you have extras, and then when it goes away, you found the problem.
Yep.
Donald Cochran, 199. Lift and twist at a 45-degree angle, relating to when I was asking about how to lift the door properly. Lift and twist at a 45.
Come on, you gotta have a workout.
Oh, my favorite name to read. It burns when Internet Protocol. It burns when IP. $2. Says, can't go one stream without reading my name. I think you've gotten all of them. So thank you for being on top of that. Justin Clifton, $3.
That's terrible.
Any plans to join Floatplane? We'd love to see there. No current plans. We're friendly with LMG and of course with Luke, but we have no current plans to join Floatplane. Gabriel Seaman, $2. Captain Overclock rides again. More LN2. Yes, there were actually some good Captain Overclock art submissions. I put them in that hardware news video a while back.
They were really good, yeah.
Yeah. Nori Rivera, $5. Heard Joe doesn't have to worry about ventilation because he does his LN2 testing on a boat of a sandbar near Tampa and Clearwater.
I would love to do that, actually.
That'd actually be pretty sweet.
Problem is power. Then you have to have a generator.
Just run a long cable back to your house.
Good luck with that. All the guys that run boats and stuff through there be cutting that cable up like crazy.
Let me do a couple more just to catch up.
I kind of want to do a couple boat videos.
I mean, I've done mountain biking videos.
I think that's going to be in the future.
You got to do those vlogs, man. You got to be a vlogger. When you walk around with the camera in front of you and you just point at stuff. You make a lot of money doing that.
Apparently. I can do that very well too.
Yeah. Let's push this a little harder. So we're at 53.25.
But what are we at score-wise?
Score-wise?
Score.
24.04.
Okay, so we were at 24.15.
Okay.
So you're slacking now.
Yeah.
That was 53.25, right?
Yes. Let's run another one. 53.50. So 5.35 gigahertz now.
Now I'm surprised we haven't lost the system yet, actually. Let's knock on wood.
It's doing pretty well.
Well, we also have the heater, the Kingpin cooling heater. This is one of the benefits. When you're going really, really cold and trying to keep the system alive, we couldn't have done that without the Kingpin cooler.
Yeah.
Or the heater. So
the heater on the back.
Yeah, it was only a 2-point.
24.17, okay. Let's do another one. Let's see if we can start finding point of failure soon. Someone asked, what's the wafer on the toolbox in the back? We actually don't know. I bought it on eBay. It was unfortunately shattered because the person packing it put it in a flat envelope, and then the post carrier folded it.
Who thought that was a good idea?
Both of them are at fault for this one. But I don't know what it is. It looks really cool, though.
All right, 75, 53.75.
5.375 gigahertz, 24.33 points.
Yep.
Any future promo codes for the large mod mat? Not immediately planned. I mean, we're almost sold out again. So what was that code? Linus Drop Tips code is still active, I think, from that how Linus Tech Tips videos are made. You can use that if you want. 10% off any order on the store with that one. Let's see.
So now we're at 5.4.
5.4 gigahertz. Someone says 5.4 is the gate.
The gate to what?
I'm guessing they mean the limitation or the wall.
The wall.
5.4 gigahertz, 2450. So we're still going.
Hmm.
So I'll let you do another one of those. Let me hit a couple chats. Reverend Arrow, $2. Preferred beers and whiskeys. It's a question for you.
Do I prefer beer and whiskey? Yes.
So the question is, which one do you like? And the answer is yes.
Yes, both. It depends on my mood. Usually I'll have some beer and then I'll have whiskey. And not in really any particular order.
There's your answer. Richard Dougherty, $5. what? You just threw down the gauntlet. Roman, did you hear that? Yeah, we're still waiting on Roman.
Slacking.
James, $5. Holly Springs showing some NC love. Thanks for watching. And we shout out to Holly Springs, I guess. Eric Jackson, $5. Gotta support if we want to keep seeing these live streams. Yes, it is actually really expensive to do these. Joe is one in Florida.
Yeah.
And it's hard to evacuate people from Florida. They actually don't want to let you leave.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
love. I don't think I'm allowed.
Is it true that they have to, in Florida, when you go to the airport, they check all the recent Florida man stories to make sure you're not that one?
No, but they should.
Let's see. Jason, $2. Thank you. LN2 overclocking and ice cream making at LTX. It's actually, I'll tell Linus, though. That's a pretty good idea.
It's actually quite fun to make ice cream. I've done it before.
Yeah, you've used LN2 for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've used dry ice. I've used regular ice, and then you can use liquid nitrogen too.
Nice. Let me go. Let's see. How far behind are we? I'm currently at 2 p.m. on Super Chats. We don't have too many, but let me get a couple more, and then what are you at right now for clock?
5425.
5.425 gigahertz, 2452 points. Okay. And then tomorrow, as a reminder, we'll have the Kingpin card stream. Actually, I'll show that LN2 pot too. So we're gonna stream the KP card, which is this. It might be a little darker over here, but sorry about that. And then the LN2 pot is right here. So this is the new icon pot from Kingpin. That'll go right there. And we got to coat it with Vaseline and do some insulation on it.
Yep.
The memory actually doesn't need any heat sinks or anything like that attached to it. It's going to be cold just from being so close to the LN2. And all the components from the KP card are right here on the table. So we have dismembered it, and we're going to build it up for LN2 after the stream today. So that'll be tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And you can go to Google and figure out what time that is for you. So you're at...
Right. No, I'm going to run 75 now. 54, 75.
Okay.
So whoever said 5.4 is wrong.
That
Sorry.
just instantly crashes or something.
Yeah, it'd be funny if it did. It might. We've been running for a long time. Usually I don't run this long,
Yeah.
but it's more fun to see that way.
I should fill this during the stream so people can see what that process is. We're really not pouring nearly as much as last time, though, because last time we were working with a lot more power on the components.
Yeah.
2480 points at 5.475 gigahertz on a Ryzen 2700X.
We'll use a lot more tomorrow on the Kingpin.
We will use...
Yeah, because I'll be constant pouring. Like
It's going to be a higher frequency of a
Yeah.
smaller pot.
Yep.
So, or not higher frequency of pouring, and also a hotter chip, too. Much hotter chip. Let's see. Rosenall, $2. How close to the rumor do you think Ryzen 3000 will be? I don't know what the current rumors are. I think I've seen people saying like 5 gigahertz stock, and I'm just going to tell you that's not happening right now.
Yeah.
So let me just shatter that dream before your expectations are too high. That's not happening. I don't know what the other rumors are, though.
I think, though, I mean, I really don't know for sure, but just to see how these chips are now, I would say it'll be a pretty decent improvement. That's what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
I don't believe all the rumors and stuff, so kind of I never believe the rumors.
I try not to even read them.
Yeah.
Is the GN Copper mug Dunsky? So currently we're out of stock of them and not immediately manufacturing more because we have a new product that's coming out probably in the next week or two. And then we just got in a huge order of mod mats. So the large and the medium are on SportCanvasXS.net. And being a smaller manufacturer, placing 2 giant orders like that, it basically wipes out our product budget immediately. So until those sell through, we're not ordering any more stuff. Copper mugs included.
Did I get a 55 one?
5.5 gigahertz. What are you running?
No, I didn't run it yet.
No, didn't run it. So we're going to run 5.5 gigahertz. They're pretty empty here.
We have any more? No.
They crash?
It crashed.
First crash of the stream. So while do you have to do anything special to get it back, or you just reboot?
Just reboot.
No torch required.
No, if you just do a reset, so you still keep constant power, you're not going to get a CVB, which is a cold boot bug. So usually I can just hit reset and it should bring the OS back. Now if it failed, like when I did that, that means I'd have to do a retry, which would cut the power totally, and then we'd have to heat up and torch. So,
I'm gonna fill.
but luckily, you don't have to do it that much.
Fill more of these. We're almost empty on the 30 liter.
Let's try more.
I'm getting
voltage.
faster at pouring, Joe. I'm getting it all over the floor just like you. Are you proud of me? I'm just copying your style.
You're moving on up in the world.
Just dump it all on the floor, right? I like how you can see like the footprint where I was just standing.
Where is the... Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, we're at 2.7. Let's try a little bit more volts.
There you go. Fresh LN2.
Yeah, I'm just about to set.
That's pretty
See
full.
where we are last time.
So
We could be at that point where the setup is just way too cold. So let's try. Let's see. So we'll do 5475 again.
okay.
We didn't have a successful 55 one?
No,
Okay.
not yet.
I made a little changes for yesterday to see if we improved, and we didn't.
We've done the opposite.
Pretty much.
So I'm gonna fill this doer up. Let's get or whenever Andrew's ready, I guess we'll get a camera shot of that. Because we haven't shown that this time.
So let's see. Come on, come on, come on. Keep going, keep going, keep going. So I bumped up the voltage from 1.6 to 1.65, and we ran. But the score seems a little bit low.
Is it lower than?
No, it's not. 2485 versus 2480. So we are at 5.5.
You good on cable length?
So let's see how much we gain from voltage. We'll try 5525.
Man, that longer cable is pretty nice. That's awesome. All right, so let me get chat up so I can just make sure we're going. Okay, all right. So we're gonna fill the doer here. It's not completely empty, but I just want to. It's cool to see. So this is a transfer hose. I paid it was between $280 and $400 for this. So these are pretty expensive. You hook them up to the LN2 tank, and then Joe's advice is hold it when you first start,
Yeah.
so that it doesn't fly.
Yeah, and if you've been filling them up a lot, this is going to get cold, so you don't want to grab it. So
Yeah.
usually I would wrap something around it. We use cardboard or whatever, but when you're initially haven't done it for a while, you could just use your hand.
Yeah, this is room temperature right now,
Yeah.
but as it starts going, I'll let go of it because it actually does get like really, really cold. It hurts. So yeah, it's just there's a valve here. This tank is pretty close to empty, I think, but we do have another full tank for tomorrow for the KP card. So, that's the process of
Okay, see how the pressure gets released? You can pretty much hear it as soon as it goes.
that initial whistle's like,
That's the problem.
and then
Once you're doing, you could just let off the hose and.
yep. So, and then when you know it's full, it'll kind of make like a bubbling noise, and you'll see some come out the top.
Yeah. It's kind of like water in a way. If you see water kind of splashing up, if you were shooting water in there with a hose, if it starts splashing up, it's nicer than water actually, because then it just evaporates.
Yeah,
it doesn't
get
actually
everywhere.
go and spill everywhere.
So that's filling the doer with LN2, and then we'll put this foam cap in there at the end. Not super important for today, but if we're storing it long term, it would help. And actually, you can see the LN2 like kind of tendrils over here. So at this point, this hose is like getting cold enough where you don't want to hold on to it. Pretty cool though. Pressure on these tanks is 22 psi. You can get higher psi tanks, but don't really want it for this application because it's more of a hazard when the hose starts. You can also.
Yeah, but also it's more of a pain to get out.
Yeah.
It's not as liquid.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
Yeah, it's been a while since I got one because I got a couple on accident, and I was really pissed because it takes more to basically it's more liquid nitrogen to try to transfer.
I see. Okay.
So you end up losing a lot.
Less efficient.
Yeah, and then it's always blowing off and shooting noise all the time. It's quite annoying.
And then there's also a medical grade, which you don't want if you do this because it costs a lot more and it's not necessary.
Yeah, it's not like we're pouring on dead bodies or anything.
Right. Right now, anyway.
Yeah. Maybe later.
Kingpin, when we did the teardown of the Kingpin 2080 Ti, you can find this in the video. There's a section in the video where it's like RIP headphone users. It's pretty loud. There's not really a ton of context for what happened, but what happened was in Vince's and Kingpin's lab, one of their LN2 cylinders let off a bunch of pressure, and it was really loud and it startled me. So that's what that noise was in that video. What's our frequency? 5.52. Is it 5.525?
Or 5.5.
Or 55.25?
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's 5.525.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're over 5.5 now. This was my limit yesterday. So what we're gonna do is just push voltage, because I had to jump a huge voltage from 5475. I needed 1.6. For 55, I needed 1.65. And then for 5525, I need 1.7. That's a lot of voltage in between to get those very little clocks. So that's kind of when the scale is done. So I don't really expect too much from the chip.
Right.
But since I could push it more so that we really push voltage and just see what happens. It's up to you, Steve.
I'd say we push it.
All right, let me
check out the frost on that hose, though. This is the point where you don't want to touch it.
Yeah.
So
that's when you wrap around something. You could use a towel or a bunch of different things.
Let me check chats. I hope my mousepad gets signed too. It will if you buy it during the stream today.
Yeah, my hand will be cursing at you later.
Oh, people didn't like that initial sound. That shit sounded like an alien was in the room. That initial whistling.
Ooh, we got 5550 now.
5550? Okay, cool.
I'm not expecting much. I think this is the exact point of failure I had yesterday.
The first time I closed this valve, last time we did the stream, the top center of it freezes because it's like a screw. And the rest of it is fine, you can touch it. But the top center is like an exposed screw. And the first time I grabbed it...
Yeah, you don't want to... Usually we put something up on it to do it. Yeah. Like, that's probably the most point where you're going to burn yourself the most, is just transferring from that. I mean, unless you spill it all everywhere, you just run out of the room.
Right. It's very cold, though.
Yeah.
Hey, Patrick, can you get me a thermocouple reader?
All right,
So
we're
just going to see what temperature this is.
We're going to do 5575.
5 gigahertz, 575.
Yeah, I'm not
megahertz.
expecting this to work.
Where is it? Any day. Right here. You using it or no?
Yeah, I need them.
Okay. Oh, it's fine. I just need it right now.
Well, look at that. Yeah, but the score went down.
Oh, that's cold. So room temperature is 21.4 degrees Celsius. And just right here in this off-gassing or whatever from the LN2
Oh, I never
evaporation,
said it. That's why.
we're at minus 38. Just to give you an idea of like how cold it is in proximity to the LN2. If we're up here, we're at minus, still going down. Minus 78, minus 84, minus 87.
Yeah.
It's very cold. What about this? I don't know if it can even read that low. It's just like minus 90 degrees on the
90
on the
Celsius?
hose. Yeah.
Yeah. It gets cold. That's like the one thing you really got to worry about.
Thank you.
This one thing.
Okay, thanks.
Even with like when you do the, basically on this, you can
We're filling.
touch it quick. See? You turn it off.
Yeah.
You probably could have let it go for a little bit, but.
Right.
And then now you gotta take the hose out, so how you gonna do that? You can either use the cardboard.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's the limit on our chip.
It's funny to hear all the ice cracking.
175.
There you go. It's got a bit leaking out. All right.
50.
So this canister's pretty close to empty. You can see it's all like frozen over and everything though. So that is filling a doer. Pretty sweet stuff. We get some super chats.
Yeah, I would do the super chats. I think we're almost at the limit on this chip. We didn't run 50. We did 50 pretty much, which was my top I've done on this chip. So there's not much more you can get out of them. Once they hit a limit, they start. You can jump on voltage. It really doesn't do much more.
Yeah.
That's how you know when that scores it, when it scales.
Here's one for you. Do overclockers disable all the telemetry and spyware in Windows 10 and the drivers for the bench runs?
You can.
It'll improve it a bit in like Time Spy and stuff.
Yeah. No, I do it for sure.
I'm late. What was the highest clock speed? Well, we're still going. What's our stable right now?
So around 5550, I think, is the run.
Okay.
You'll see the score. The score was 2502.
Hmm.
But I had to bump up the voltage quite a bit. Even now, I'm running at 1.75. When we started, we were at 1.6.
Let me read a couple of the store orders. So we got Eric from California picked up a mouse pad that'll be signed by Joe and I after the stream. We might even write a stupid message on it. And then
Most likely.
we have Jerry from Georgia picked up a mouse pad as well. Thank you, Jerry. We got one from Matthew from Massachusetts. Picked up a mouse pad. This is really just a test of my ability to identify what the 2-letter code for a state is. Good news is I can always just make one up if I don't know it. There's Adrian from Ireland, actually. Picked up the lightweight Raglan hoodie. Thank you. We really liked that one. That was pretty popular.
I need to get my hoodie ready.
And a mouse pad.
I have a hoodie that's about to come out on my store, too.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, the bearded
Have
hardware.
I seen it yet? Is the one you wore
hardware.
You
Yeah.
wore one
It's the one I
last-
wore out here.
Okay.
Obviously, I don't need to because it's kind of warm now. But
Yeah.
That's the next thing that's going on my site.
beardedhardware.com. .com. And he's got a YouTube channel as well. In the description below, he needs to post some stuff.
I know.
But you can subscribe to catch the next one. Marcus from Ireland as well picked up a mousepad. Thank you. We get some super chats. We're pretty behind on them. I'm going to do my best here. I'm going to answer these as quickly as I can to get through all the super chats. Those of you who've been waiting for an hour now. Jacob Puckett, $5. The OC tech vendors are assembling. Love it. Please do this again after Zen 2 is released. I think that is the plan.
I think,
Is it
yeah,
not?
I think we've come to say after this one, we're definitely going to do one.
Yes.
I'm actually really excited for Computex to see like what happens, right?
Yeah, there'll be a lot of motherboards for sure.
Yeah.
For the AMD announcement. Unexpected at 1440p. Did you guys talk the precision timer in Windows? Yes, we did. I read in forums online about it when Ryzen. It seems to make things worse. Maybe Tin or Buildzoid know. Keep up the great work. And Joe, greetings from Germany.
What's going on?
So we did talk about the timer.
The event timer. Forgot what I said though about it.
We were just talking about how, well, so there's
there's
two timer issues we talked. There's the timer bug where when you were increasing B clock,
Yep.
the scores were not accurate, right?
Yeah, and supposedly it was supposed to only be in asynchronous, but it happens in synchronous too.
Mm.
So I tested both methods, and I'm not going to set B clock at all.
And then there's a high precision event timer issue
Yeah.
that sometimes crops up too. We have an old video where I demonstrated the bug by opening just the Windows clock.
Yeah,
and
you,
the real
you
clock.
could skew. Well, in CPU-Z, you can actually tell. So in CPU-Z, there's a, I didn't even realize until a buddy told me this. Let's see. There's tools, and then there's timers. And what you could do is you could start that clock timer and stop it, and it will tell you, well, see the RTC, the real-time clock is a little bit off.
Mm.
Which might just be Windows 10 in general.
Right.
I mean, we're not going for official scores. We're trying to do...
Yeah, we're not submitting anything.
Yeah, we're not submitting anything, but it just seems like these clocks always come off on Windows 10. So maybe it's just Windows 10.
Oh,
Oh, see,
perfect
it's
that
close.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just accuracy. Maybe it's 0.01.
Yeah.
It could happen, you know. But this is a good way to how you can test if the clocks are off. So
So you can check that.
yeah,
That's
so you can do it
actually-
yourself. I think after 1.84, it comes in CPUs.
Mhm.
So definitely a cool
We,
thing to do. Just
We showed that when Ryzen first came out, I think, because some people were reporting that they got like 4.5 gigahertz all-core overclocks,
yeah, that's
which was, you know, sadly for them, it was just a timer bug.
yeah, that's a bummer. Yeah, because I didn't realize until a buddy told me that. He's like, you really got to watch out for the timer on Windows 10. So I was like, okay, I'll look into it, and basically going through the timer. And then he showed me that. I was like, oh my, I didn't even realize they put that in CPUs.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I started to see how off it was when V-clock, and man, I tested all the different modes, and it definitely goes off.
Yeah.
You'll notice it goes off in through there. So
yeah, 2505, what score was that frequency?
oh, this is 5550.
5550, okay.
Yeah.
So not at 5575 yet.
No, I ended up having to bump the voltage. You'll see it's at 175. That one was at 17. So if you mark it,
Okay, 175.
Yeah.
Got it. And
So
then it's getting chilly over here from that LN2. Jonathan Keevers, $5. Oh, we got one above that. Sorry, I skipped one.
yeah, see, 75 is just done.
Oh, it just.
Dunsky, Steve. It's
Dunsky.
Dunsky.
We had Nick Hjarso, Danish, $50. Thank you. Hello to both of you from Denmark. Great to see some live LN2 overclocking. Well, we absolutely appreciate you watching, and especially because it's getting late over there. Jonathan Keevers, $5. Can you go over your background and why you put so much focus on good explanations for margins, etc., versus other YouTubers? Loving the stream, by the way. So I get background and stats. I skipped a few words. I have no background in stats. Everything that we do is just through experience. So the background for everything we do on the channel, testing or like explaining margin of error, things like that, is entirely through failure. Like you learn by failing at stuff. You learn because years ago, if you look at a benchmark from 5 years ago, I might have said that a difference of like 2 or 3 FPS on a certain game was significant. But maybe, as we've learned, that could actually fall within error margins. So the way to do it is to run those games, like over all the tests we do over the lifespan of a bench, potentially thousands of times, for all the different test passes. You look at the deviation run to run and kind of start realizing, like, okay, this game really only deviates 0.5 FPS, so it's really accurate. And you can start building your margin of error. And I guess the reasoning for doing it for us is because we cram a bunch of parts in a chart, and if you start getting numbers that are really close together sometimes, so we want to know, is it a significant difference or is it just test error and variance? I can't comment on what other YouTubers do, but that's the reason we do it. And it's just because, like, I guess as you do more tests, you realize that a lot of the magic in the testing dies, because you realize that, okay, actually these numbers are really not that significant, or maybe these numbers are extremely significant depending on the error of each bench. So like Time Spy, for example, has some variance in it run to run.
Pretty much all the benchmarks do.
All of them do. Cinebench too, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to. There's a lot of different variables in the test that could cause different things to happen.
Yeah,
so.
and this is how too we discovered issues with like the turbo timers duration being incorrect on some motherboards, being non-stock, because you run Cinebench, and if you run Cinebench on those Z390 boards,
Yeah, one gets higher than the other, right?
yeah, and
Yeah.
so what you start realizing is like, okay, this is outside of variance. This one has a B clock of 100.8,
Yep.
which is complete BS.
Yeah.
And then like this one is actually, it's getting too high of a score. And so you realize that, okay, if I run this 10 times back to back, the score comes down. And that's because of the turbo duration, stuff like that. LX24's BS, MX80, thank you. Looking forward to one of these once Ryzen 3000 comes out, hopefully hitting 5 gigahertz. Greetings from Mexico.
Nope.
I think we should get past 5 gigahertz on 3000 on LN2, because we're already doing it.
Yeah, I
on this
would
one.
like even with the Intel, we usually see always a performance increase.
yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't expect them to release anything that's worse.
No.
You know.
Kobe Ricky, $1. Kobe Ricky, $1 again, thank you. Leftist tech support, $5.
My significant other's dad watches your channel too. He's gonna love the signed mousepad I just bought. Well, thank you for picking one up. And if we had a good way to mark, like to personalize them, I would. But he will certainly get the signed mousepad.
Yeah.
Dennis Pietrandria, sorry, $2. Is 1.35 volts safe for long-term use on the 9900K? My answer is yes.
1.35?
Yeah.
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 I've run higher.
Definitely. Final Mage 6, $10. Time for an OC battle between Buildzoid Bearded Hardware and Der Bauer. Leaving me out of it? Wow. Just you three, huh?
It's probably for a good reason.
So,
Just saying.
who wins an OC battle if there's no resource, like if Roman can't pull all of his resources from Case King and win just by having more parts? Who wins, you or him?
Well, there's always a variance in there.
Okay, that sounds like a
But since
sounds like
if
a
he's
slack
on,
answer.
yes, definitely me. Definitely, me.
definitely you. I mean, that's assuming you can even get Roman like to the bench.
Well,
Might
I
have
tried
to
to
drag
get him
him.
out. Yeah, like seriously, trying to get him out to do anything anymore. Let's see.
James, $2. Hey Joe, hashtag fire the cannons.
Fire the cannons.
Do you know that reference? I don't know that reference.
I don't know the reference.
Hey Joe,
the cannons.
hashtag fire the
Who
cannons.
said it?
James? No last name.
Fire the cannons. I don't know.
The good news about your comment is we are going to be talking about it later today when we go get food and then probably look it up.
Yes, definitely.
Wishbone, $2. Dirt Rally 2.0 GPU testing, please. Also WRC 8. We could potentially, I mean, we'll add games eventually to the GPU benchmark. I just don't know when, but I'll keep racing games in mind. We've added them for CPUs. No, Rivera, I like how GN has disassembled. That would have read a lot funnier. I like how GN has assembled all of the XOC guys, like the Avengers. Steve equals Captain America. Joe equals Endgame Thor. You good with that? You good with being Thor?
I've been called Thor in person.
Okay, so we
I
get-
actually helped a guy with when I was putting the boats in. He almost lost his whole boat and
He called you
truck and
Thor?
trailer, and he called me Thor. He's like, thank goodness Thor was here.
Buildzoid is the Hulk. 10 equals Doctor Strange. Der Bauer equals Iron Man, and Kingpin equals Rocket Raccoon.
I think this is the best one.
XDevs, 75 Taiwan dollars.
I forgot.
I'm reading this an hour late. Sorry, Tin. Show us the 2080 Ti Kingpin card for tomorrow's live stream. We did that at about the same time he sent that, so we're good. Draxel Gaming, $5. Shout out to the mod Matt for helping me repin my PSU cables for a different power supply. Yes, I mean I've used them too. That's why they're on there. They are actually really helpful to have the cable diagrams. Ryan John, $5 Canadian. Thank you. Average Gamer, $2. On my 2700X, I was able to hit 4.4 gigahertz on air.
Ooh, that might be a decent chip.
That is really
It's
good.
hard to say though. I mean, it's probably. This one did 5 or 4.3, so maybe yours does 5.6, 5.7. That'd be a good chip to test on that one too.
Yeah, definitely.
That's if you want to kill it, or you might kill it, depending, you know. Or you could send it to us, and we'll bench it.
It is true, and then we'll kill it.
Yeah, and then we'll kill it. Let's see. Yeah, I'm like pushing the volts. I think I'm at 185 just for the hell of it.
Let's see, we got.
Don't know until
what's
you
chat
try.
saying?
I doubt it's gonna work though.
Any guess how hot a 5.5 gigahertz CPU would be without the LN2 cooling? Well,
It's hard to say.
yeah, it wouldn't get that high.
It wouldn't get that high.
Because it would shut down. So,
Yeah.
but I guess.
Usually when the temperature is lower, you would need more volts. So it's basically a cold scale. So when it gets colder, your voltages go like this. So when it gets cold, well, I guess when it gets colder.
Yeah, because
the
you're
voltage is
removing
gonna
your
go down.
thermal
Yeah.
limitations.
Yeah, because
'Cause
it's
other-
really hot.
Otherwise, you're limited to about 100 degrees, or actually less than that on Ryzen. But
If it's basically making so much noise in that pot where you can hear it going and making a lot of noise,
Yeah.
it's hot. Because liquid nitrogen runs really cold.
yes, I'm catching up decently on these finally. Let me see, where are we?
Steve's always slacking.
I am always behind on everything.
Average gamer. Oh, got that one. Bob Delisle, $1. Thank you. Andreas Sheriff, good to see you. $2. Is Jay still mad at me? He Twitter blocked me. I don't know. I don't talk to Jay about like which individuals on Twitter he's mad at. I have no idea. He'll forget with time. I don't know what he did. But
He probably forgot he blocked you.
yeah, he probably did. Kevin Ganser, $5. Thank you. Voodoo Child, $1. Thank you. Paul, the bearded one, Downing. Got competition, Joe. Got the bearded one.
Yeah, I haven't. He's on my Twitter.
Nice.
Good dude.
$5. I'm just here. Got back from.
Ooh, we got a higher
work.
score.
Did we?
Yeah, 5550 was 2512 at 1.85 volts.
That's a lot of volts.
Yeah. We've hit the time where it's screw it, let's try it.
Yeah. Well, we have more chips if we need them.
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't have anything to do with the board.
Yeah, right.
No, I have a limit at 5575. It just won't run.
We got some store orders. Let me get a couple of those. Like I said, if you buy the mouse pad during the stream today, we've got them linked in the description below. The white and blue or the black and blue, Joe will sign these with me at the end of the stream. And we will, let's see, we just got an order from Alex in Australia who picked one up. So thank you for picking that up, Alex. It does not come with the thermal paste, by the way, sorry. That's probably from Roman too. I just kind of waste any chance I get. Roman's thermal paste. Just
That's what I do too.
Yeah.
I
You
use it.
just empty it into the trash can, right?
Well, yeah, pretty much. I use it on my less
Wow.
cared about setups. You know what I mean?
No, Thermal Grizzly makes good stuff, so Cryonauts among the best. A very high thermal conductivity.
No, I use a lot of it on everything actually.
Yeah, we go through it
To
like
pretest
crazy.
these, I think I was using thermal Grizzly.
Yes.
The
yes.
Cryonaut.
Cryonaut makes
I even use it on air setups and water setups. It works pretty much good for all.
Yeah, it's
I haven't had really any issues.
high-end compound, that's for sure. It can do Cryonaut can do cold temps too. We got Ollie, $5. Why does the 9900K only get around 2100 points at 5 gigahertz despite having better IPC, yet this 2700X is getting 2300 points at 5 gigahertz? I mean, I don't know, memory differences, I guess. I don't know what the rest of the...
Well,
you can't really look at it in a vacuum,
At
right?
5 gigahertz, that's just the boosted.
That's the other thing too, is
that's not, like if I were to OC that, and this is also with memory also.
Yeah.
If I were to take 5 gigahertz on the 9900K and kind of do what I did here, it would be higher.
Yeah. And then, let's see, we're starting to catch up finally. Rodri Mora, $5. My 6700K is OC'd up to 4.7 gigahertz on the NHD15. I'm doing fine. I've wanted to upgrade for some time, but it's not bottlenecking my 1070. But I missed the fun of overclocking. Yeah, I mean, you get into the point where there's not a big reason to upgrade, but just for fun.
It's kind of crazy though, because if you look at, so we keep on talking about, let's say Ryzen, the 3 series or 3000 series that's going to come out or whatever, and then we're talking about improvement. If you look at even Intel's improvement, so if you look at a 6700K, 4.7 was pretty good. Like the really golden chips were at like 5.1. And then when you went to a 7700K, all of a sudden the chips were 5.2, 5.3.
Yeah.
So you see an improvement. So I expect to see like a lot of Ryzen chips maybe even better than that, obviously what we see here. But
Yeah.
it just kind of shows you.
Do we need more LN2 in these? Or you good?
We're pretty much done.
Okay.
I can't run 5575 at all. I've tried up to 1.85 volts.
Okay.
I mean, we could try 1.9, but you want to try 1.9?
I don't know.
Come on, it's a good stream.
It's whose chip is it? AMD sent it?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's try 1.9. Let's try it.
Famous last words.
Not my money.
Let's try it.
Famous last words are watch this. Let's see. So while Joe's setting up for 1.9 volts on this, we got DFDEDSC $2. Thank you. I thought I would send it to you guys. Thank you. Kevin Designs, $199. Any thoughts on doing some TR4 LN2 content? Any thoughts on Threadripper liquid nitrogen content?
Probably be more fun to bench. Well, it depends on the cold.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never benched TR. I would bench it. Why not?
We could try it for sure.
Something different. I've been benching all the Intel stuff for so long. It's kind of
Fun to get something new.
yeah.
Lam, PLN25. You read the wrong question. Mine was about time zone. What? I think I read that one. Also, 25.
Nah,
Oh, it didn't do it.
nah, it's done. That's the limit. It's kind of weird. If you find an Intel limit,
Yeah.
you'll usually get like a bunch of blue screens and stuff.
This one
This
just goes
thing just-
black.
Goes black and just reboots.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice because then you don't hear the blue screen
Yeah.
reference.
Uh-huh. Pretty good on Allen 2 still.
Yeah. The setup's still good though. The heater's working its magic. The memory doesn't seem so bad. I think our setup is pretty sweet.
I like how this is still frozen also,
Yeah.
the valve. So, you think you can't get any?
No,
any further? Should we run any additional benchmarks while we're here? You have like 3D Mark on there or anything?
We can do Geekbench.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Let's just see what it
Joe,
is.
why do you have so many screenshots on your desktop?
Oh, I hear that all the time.
Why is
Especially when
your
I used to break a bunch of records, they'd be like, "Why do you have screenshots?" Because what I do is after every bench, instead of me
Can I
writing
just
it
interrupt
down,
you? I like the casual, especially when I used to break a bunch of
Yeah,
records.
used to. Well,
Let me just throw that in there. Anyway, you were saying about the screenshots.
thanks, Steve. No, it's basically how I record my information. So that way, if I'm instead of me writing it down and doing everything, I could just actually look. I'll end up like organizing them and everything, and I'll make sure I can. That way, I have it for later as reference, so I know if I'm doing better or not. Because that's the whole point, right? Is to keep pushing as far as you can.
And
So-
it's also you're in not as much here, but sometimes you're dealing with more time pressure. Like if you're managing a bunch of LN2 pots,
yeah,
it takes longer to like go.
I'll just write down. So if
Yeah.
you're doing like 3 pots and you're trying to figure out stuff, I'd rather just do a screenshot. And
Right.
a lot of times you'll see that I'll have like the voltages that I'm using, and because maybe tomorrow I'm like, because I'll be benching all day, tomorrow I'll forget what the voltages are, and all I'll have to do is go to the desktop and I can see it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's just an easy one because I have a screenshot program that basically just shoots whatever's on the screen and just copies it and names it, so I don't have to do anything. So all I have to do is click.
Let's see.
Let me see if I could try something else. Actually, no, we'll try this. We'll do 5 gig on Geekbench.
Got a baseline.
Yeah.
I gotta try and catch up. I'm gonna put a stop, I think, on the super chats. So any super chats after like now 3:20 local time, I'm not gonna read them because we're too far behind. So you can send them, but I won't read them past that point out of respect for everyone's time in the stream, all people watching. But I will get through all the ones that have been sent in. Let's see. Steve Pryor, $5. Not sure if anyone's asked, but what's the main difference from overclocking in the BIOS versus software like Ryzen Master and other motherboard implementations? Let's talk about the one you're using there, the Asus Turbo.
Yeah, this is Turbo V. So I think the first one that would do it was actually Gigabyte. Gigabyte came up with the slim down program that was just nice and right to the point. And then Asus was shortly, and then like ASRock has one too. The thing is you can do it in the BIOS if you want to, but you're also, there's a lot more room for error because you got to boot up, right? So in the OS, you're already booted up, so you can actually maybe push it farther. The other thing is we're going super cold on certain things. There is always a time where maybe you might have a delta in between of what you think you have as cold and then what is actually on cold. So if I were to reboot and I was to reboot at 1.9 volt and it cracked, it would kill my chip. So I like to have my voltages lower, and so when I'm rebooting, I'm not so worried about it damaging the processor too. Because I want to be able to bench the whole time, and I don't want to be able. The whole trick is not to kill hardware. I mean, it's not really fun, especially if you have a golden chip or like,
if you have a lot of money in it.
Yeah, and a lot of money too is always the other thing. But even I don't know, a little piece of you dies when a golden chip dies. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Tears kind of bubble up and stuff, and it kind of can get a little awkward sometimes. Just saying. By the way. So yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to go over the score.
Oh yeah. So you got. Let's take a note here. Someone said your performance will be better if you clear the desktop.
That was old, right? That's funny that you brought it up before that.
Yeah. 5578 single. And.
Oh, I took the screenshot too.
Okay, cool.
See, these are the times.
I'm
so
not
we can
familiar
go
with
back
Geekbench
over.
at all.
See?
Nice.
No, the multi-score is actually pretty good. But this is only at 5 gig.
Right. Henry Solo, $5. Steve, I have X99A2 and Intel tuner. It takes my CPU to 4.2 gigahertz, 1.425 volts. But when I do it in BIOS, it sets it back down to 3.7.
What was it again?
I don't know. An X99A2 Intel tuner takes in the 4.2, 1.425
Well, when I do it in the BIOS, it sets it back to 3.7.
gigahertz, I guess.
It's probably your board, and you probably have a setting that's altering it.
Yeah.
I've seen that similar to that.
There might be some auto setting.
There's like a lockdown where you're doing something. It's a specific setting. I would go through your BIOS, maybe set it to load optimized defaults, meaning back to stock, and then check every setting that you're doing, and then boot up into the
all
OS.
the sub menus too.
That happens usually a lot if you don't have the specific settings set up. Offhand, it's been a long time for X99, so it's kind of hard to give you the specific setting. But
Tarfeef, $2. Got here late. Sorry. What CPU is this? 2700X. AS90, 554. Here's the $7.20, I guess, once converted to USD, saved from using the code on store.cameras Nexus. Thank you for sending that in. Eric R, $5. Lam, my Polish fella, stop sending all that hard-earned PLN. You just sent workday worth of money. The Martin C, 123, $2, a bit late, but let's get what is the CPU going? It's been going, and it's not the 7980XE. Pace, $5. Loving the XOC content. I think we've got, how many more? Whoa, I did put a hard stop. Okay, cool. So we have a couple more. Loving the XOC content. Currently benching GTX 580 classified with 9900K whilst watching from the UK. More XOC streams, please. Definitely. We have one tomorrow.
that's a fun setup. The 580 classified?
Yes.
That's one of the earlier, I would say the earlier KPs.
I think that was the first one he worked on? Or
yeah,
no?
I think that's the first one.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, he was helping out before that probably, but the 580, I think the 580 classified, there wasn't a 480 classified, was there?
I don't think.
I don't think there was, because I have a 580 classified.
The 580 Kingpin looks really cool, though. Or 780 Ti, one of those two.
No, the 780 was the first Kingpin
was the
edition.
first Kingpin?
The
Okay.
classified edition, the 580A, is also, I think that was the first one he worked on as when he went to EVGA.
The oldest one he has on his shelf looks really cool, whichever one that is. Aluminum Haste.
I think that's the one.
$5. Can you talk about why new CPUs require LN2 to go from 4.3 to 5, but old Bulldozer could get 8 gigahertz on LN2? Way different architectures. I mean, they're completely different. Not really comparable in that regard.
If performance doesn't matter and clock speed does, that's when Bulldozer was good.
Yeah.
You needed, it's all about performance. I mean, clock speed is one thing. I mean,
Bulldozer also, it's running fewer FPUs per core module, I think. So you start running into some floating point limitations in performance, but way different architecture. I'm not going to read this name. It's like AF49C27, and then it goes on for another like 40 characters. 50 DKK, thank you. Don't read the name, they said. Okay.
it looks like a key.
It looks like a serial number.
Yeah.
Don't read the name. Is it good to be in a dry spot when LN2 overclocking, like a desert, or maybe using a dehumidifier?
Actually, it works really well. I mean, I've
Like in
benched
Las
in
Vegas.
Vegas. In Vegas, it was like 6% humidity. Right now, we're at
45.
45. So at 6% the humidity, you could bench 4 away with like 5 or 6 pots and not even worry about condensation. You probably wouldn't. You'll get a little bit, but like very little compared to what we have now.
Will you be Astro Pirate? $5. Will you be testing the new Ryzen CPUs with the first gen Ryzen motherboards? We will, yes. Torgrim Remen, Norwegian 163.80. Thank you. What's this currency? Hey Joe. Well, I think I got it. Norwegian kroner, right? Cole,
Who is it?
Torgrim Remen.
What's up, Torgrim?
Cole Markison, $1. Thank you. I'm just trying to get through these efficiently. Furiku, $2. How many motherboards and CPUs have you killed? Joe, that's for you.
I couldn't even keep track.
Too high to count.
Honestly, I've killed more motherboards than CPUs. I mean, motherboards, you could bench a lot of times. It's just over time they get beat up. I mean, when you take down, and it depends on how cold you're going too. I mean, when you go cold like this, there's a lifespan of, I mean, you're going all the expanding and contracting, and I mean it beats up the board. So boards, it's kind of normal. I mean, I've killed tons of them. CPUs, I've killed a lot too. I think I've killed a lot of GPUs too.
I've killed maybe only 1 or 2 CPUs, but they were not from overclocking. It's like one of them, you know how AMD CPUs get stuck in the socket when you remove the cooler?
I've done that before too.
So it didn't really kill it, but it was an FX 90, whatever, 95, 90, whatever that CPU was. And one of the pins came out, and it ended up being one that I needed for memory. So what I did was I had a board that was only ever used for that CPU, and I stuck the pin back in the hole on the board that it belongs in.
So you didn't technically kill it?
And it actually worked.
Yeah, there's some things you can do to try to bring boards back. It's or chips back and stuff.
Cole Markinson, so start with LN2 rather than dry ice. I guess the question for if you're new to this.
They're very different. So most people think that like it's good to start out with dry ice. It kind of gets you understanding and safety on cold. So I mean, you can even do phase changers, but they're just not very efficient and kind of bulky and
I can tell you
a pain in the butt to work with.
From experience too, I started with chilled water.
Yeah, I think.
And that was actually way harder than this. Like,
well,
just in terms of setup, I mean.
It is a pain because you got to make sure everything's working, and then like the condensation on all the loop is a pain. And
so this is harder for other reasons. Like you get high enough that you have to start learning more about the voltages to change and stuff.
Yeah, it's much more difficult. We don't just add cold on a lot of the setups. Like so, you need to be able. It's good to start out with dry ice because then you get your cold kind of how you want to insulate. You kind of get used to like what you're working with, and then you can move on to LN2, and you can pretty much use a lot of the same pots too.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of the benefit if you want to get into liquid nitrogen.
Zach D, $5 earlier, was thanking us for explaining the setup for liquid nitrogen required when we did that, and said no one explains the setup and required equipment. Huge fan of the channel. Well, thank you for that. And I don't know, maybe Joe, maybe if we have time, either this trip or next one, we should just do a 10-minute walkthrough of here's all the stuff you need if you want to try this. You know, like here's the cheapest entry to LN2 overclocking. So he's just thanking us for explaining it earlier, all the parts required. Parker Holdem.
We'll be able to do it this time.
Yeah, Holdeman, $2. YouTube Premium gives me free super chats. Here's $2. I didn't know that. Is that true? Jesse Templeton, $1. Jesse Templeton, $1. Thank you. Geeks, Nerds, and Techs, $5. What will hold more value? Your signed mouse pad, or hold more value, your signed mouse pad I just bought, or the signed 2700X?
Signed pad, mouse pad.
A signed mouse pad, because at least we actually signed it.
Yeah.
Sat down and wrote on it. Jan Soderqvist, $2. Mod mat and signed poster made it to Finland. Thanks. Glad you got them. Thank you for picking them up. I think we are getting close. I'm not too far from the end of the super chats. The scroll bar is getting close. Joshua Bell, $5. Been waiting for Ryzen Stream to buy your mouse pad. Harbor Freight Flyer is illegible now. Oh, your Harbor Freight Flyer that you're using as a mouse pad. Left to tech support, $5. I have an EVGA 2080 Ti FTW3 hybrid, and I can't overclock it past plus 85 megahertz on the core and plus 1000 on the memory. Voltage and wattage max never goes past 65 degrees Celsius. You're probably at a power limit, would be my guess. Big Daddy Worm 79, $2. Any future promo codes? Oh, I got that one for the large mod mat. No current plans, but we just kind of do them randomly. Lam PLN 25. I specifically referred to the TZs you shown in the last video, which listed EST, PST. You're an EDT double WTF. This dude needs to chill on the time zone. It's the same person. Like,
pretty funny, actually.
Yeah. All right, man. You know what time we meant, so don't care. Jean-Luc Watts, $5. What CPU is better for workstation and gaming use? i7-9700K or i9-9900K? I do 3D modeling mostly. It depends on the application, but I mean, like, better at 9700, 9900 level performance for gaming. It's kind of like doesn't really matter anymore because you're already at the top end of the scale. And the difference between them we show in our reviews, and it's not a ton. So
yeah, but even with the 9700K, you can push that a lot farther if you have an OC board.
Yeah, overclock it.
So I mean, you could go either way, I think.
For 3D modeling, I mean, if you're doing like Blender, for example, Blender will leverage those extra threads, so it will matter in something like that. If it's frequency bound, the applications you're using, and it will depend on application, that it just doesn't matter. They're both fast. Trevor D, pour another one for me, boys. Love the channels. Thank you. I have poured one for you. We got, that looks so cool, man.
I'm telling you, you need to
And
put it in a pool. We should go to the hotel
Yeah, and dump it in
and
the
dump
pool.
a bunch in the pool. I'm telling you, it looks cool.
That won't get us hauled away by security.
Yeah, we're with the construction team.
That's right.
That's funny.
Getting close. From Affle, DKK $10. Thank you. Paramvir Hotball. I don't know. Sorry, $2. Will you ever make an RGB extended mousepad? No current plans. Josiah Tigrob, $2 Canadian. Thank you. Where can I get the Asus Turbo V-Core software? Question for you, Joe.
This one was actually not like a Ryzen one. This one was for the Apex, I think. This was actually, so I used the one that you can download from Apex on this board. It errors out when you do it, but it like throws an error at first, but
Then it works.
it
anyway?
works after.
Oh, cool.
So
Okay.
yeah, just try to find the one for the newest Apex.
Motherboard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll go over the frequencies that we ended up at in a minute too. I want to get through we're at the very end. Finally, I can see like the end of the screen now. 16V, I'm going to stop your name there. 16VSCIR something. $2, thank you. I want everyone to know BOTW Lady Urbosa is effing hot. I don't know what that means, but I guess everyone else knows it now. Eric Jackson, $5. Talked a friend into it. Got a mouse pad for him and one for myself. Awesome, thank you. The support, we're going to have a lot to sign, I think. Stefan Colby, $2.29. My order number for the mouse pad. I'm not going to read your number on the stream. Thank you. Well, thank you for ordering. We will be signing all of those that were ordered today, so you will get it as soon as it ships. Kevin Sprayton, $4.99. Is tomorrow's stream 1 p.m. EST or EDT? Okay, so the current time is 3:34 p.m. where I am standing right now. So in 24 hours, it will be 3:35 p.m. again, except on Sunday, and then subtract
2 hours and 25 minutes.
2 hours and roughly 25 minutes, and that'll be the stream.
Or 35 minutes. maybe?
35, yeah. That's the answer to your question. Paramir Outwall, $2, thank you for the alliance. Anthony Genovese, $5. Okay, cool. I see the very bottom. Hardware numbers is like one of the last ones. My A700K hits 90 right at the start of test. This is on 4.7 OC with all core synced at 1.2 volts, cooled by 240 radiator. What can I do to lower the temperatures?
Hold on. So he said my 8700K?
Yeah.
Well, number one, you can delid.
Yes.
And number two, you can put liquid metal under it.
Yes.
And then, well, it depends on how you can also lap them. Pretty much every Intel chip I have, I lap. Well, I guess that one's not a soldered one. On the soldered one, it seems almost worse. But yeah.
And also, if it's in a case, like normally, then you might have like a case airflow issue too.
Well, yeah. He said at 1.2, so if it's at 4.7 1.2, he has a problem.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a problem with his cooling.
Well, that's what I'm wondering is if it's like the case is inhibiting airflow or if that cooler has bad fans on it or something.
It's 90 at the start of a test. That's way too much.
Yeah.
I would say maybe I would check between the block and the chip first of all.
Yeah, make sure
to
it's
do anything.
make
Yeah, I
sure
didn't realize that at 1.2, if it was higher, then I could see that it'd be 90. 90 is not actually,
right.
but at like 5 gig maybe.
House 1793, $5. Nice stream, lads. Thank you. Let's talk through the voltages and frequencies you ended up doing, Joe. We'll take a break from these, and then I'll do like the last 8 or so that there are, 10 that there are. So what did we end up at for frequency for Cinebench?
I think 5550.
Yes, 5550.
So 5.550 gigahertz,
yes.
which is, from what I heard, is pretty much decent.
That's pretty good.
Hold on.
50 megahertz.
And Geekbench would run about the same. It just ran about 55. Or about the same, not as high as our 50.
And then your voltage was
It's harder on memory usually.
right. You're between 1.7 and 1.85 at that frequency.
Yeah, at that point, that's just way too much. You could tell from, so at 5.5, we only needed 1.6 volts. To get 5.55, we
Zero.
basically 5.0, I needed 1.85 volts. The drastic amount of voltage means that's definitely not good. So
Yeah.
I could tell right away, because even at 5525, I still needed 1.65 volts. So that's 0.05 volts just to get that little extra clock.
Right.
So then from there, it's basically just down from that. You could tell that's the actual hardware limit.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
pretty good though. I mean, Ryzen. So the stock score for people keeping track, unmodified other than minus 11 degrees, it was 1848 points for Cinebench.
Yep.
And if that means nothing to you, we can do a percent difference, percent increase calculation here, just to make it easy. So 1848 was the original score, and our final score was 2512. And so that is an increase of about 36% in score. And frequency, it's an increase of about 35%. It's pretty close. It's pretty one-to-one. And then for, I don't know, what's like, I don't remember off the top of my head what some other CPUs score, but
Yeah, I always get confused because of the cores.
let's see. Let me just pull up like a hot hardware result for 9900K. So hot hardware, I could pull up our own numbers, but I don't have them in front of me right now. So they had like a 7900X Intel 10-core CPU was at 2178.
See, he was
stock.
at 1808 for the 2700X.
Yeah. And
We're a little
then-
bit higher because we have memory. So
Yes.
that we've overclocked the memory quite a bit, actually. So you can see it gains a little bit.
And then Threadripper 1950X, they had it at 3065 points. So we were actually really
Close to the Threadripper.
not all that far. Yeah, 500 points more.
I mean, it is still pretty far, but
that's pretty good distance.
but that's yeah. Considering maybe like 5.7. So the record I think is about 5.7 with hardware numbers for R15,
Right.
and he was at like 2735. So
That's really close.
yeah.
to
So maybe
Threadripper.
like a 6 gig will match the Threadripper.
Yeah, pretty close to it. Which, considering the like 2x core difference there, that's pretty good. So that's your comparison, and then let's see. What's he using to OC the CPU software-wise? Asus Turbo V.
Yep.
So like I said earlier, guys, I put a cutoff time on the super chats, so we're almost to the end of those. We had DKK20, AFL, any plans to get screen capture when OC is streaming? I've tried it. I had issues where when the system would die, then the capture would die, and like there's a way to fix it.
I can help you without that.
Yeah, there's a way to fix it for sure, but we just haven't had time. SVK1324, do you think Zen 2 will overclock better than Zen Plus? Yes. Or, well, it'll get a higher frequency. I don't know if it'll have more headroom, but it'll be a higher frequency. Motorsport,
I would say probably.
think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a process improvement, so.
Yeah, I think definitely. Who knows how much? That's kind of the answer to the question, or
Yeah.
that's the whole question. But
Motorsport Nedge 199. Do you think 2700 at 5 gigahertz will roughly equal 3700 Zen 2 performance? I have no idea. I'm not going to guess
yeah, no one knows.
Zen 2 performance. I think I said we'd stop at 320 on the super chats, so we've got only a couple more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Thanks so much for the actual in-depth controlled variable testing, including OC stats and the graphs. P.S. Please make an XXL mouse mat. We've got a few requests, so we'll bump it back up on our priorities. Thank you. SG Andy 2989 $2. Thank you. What's the status? I've been moving. Well, I hope your move is going well. We just gave you a status, like a recap, a second ago. So 5550 megahertz. Motorsports. Good luck with the chili secret sauce today. How's the thermal scaling for Ryzen? How many megahertz per 10 to 25 degrees below Celsius? Or below 0, sorry, Celsius. I don't know that we can really measure it that way.
Yeah, we didn't really measure like the cold scaling.
Right. We didn't. We
It's
just
kind of difficult to do. I mean, we would need a lot more time to be able to do something like that.
We just went minus 196 and then.
Yeah, the whole point is because we know they go cold, so we just want to make sure. I don't think we should have tried maybe like a minus 100 to see like what was the possibility. But there's a lot of variance in there as far as voltage.
Right.
So
I would say.
if we just say take the same voltage and just keep it, and then, I mean.
How much does it scale?
Yeah, we'd have to do a bunch of tests.
Katra, my 2700X can't hit 4.2 stable. Could it be the VRM is too hot? My case is Thermaltake Core P5, so no airflow.
Depends on the volts.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. Try it. I mean, it's easy to test. Right? Just sit a fan over it. Doesn't have to be mounted to anything. Just get it secure. And
well, your gold chip wouldn't go over 4.1.
And it's the same motherboard they're using. So,
yeah.
I mean, I think unfortunately, it's probably just a limitation of the chip.
No, it's definitely a limitation because I had it on this one too.
Yeah. Steve Burley, great content. Keep up the great work. Just ordered one of each of the mouse pads. Thank you. Is liquid nitrogen expensive? Is liquid nitrogen cooling expensive to do? We went over that earlier. I guess we'll do like a dedicated video sometime on it. But very quick recap. Each of those cylinders is about $177 before tax. They will last us a couple days.
Is there a delivery fee though?
There's a delivery fee.
Yeah.
I think I ended up.
And then a tank charge rental fee?
There is. I ended up at $440 and then whatever the rental is.
It's actually better than I get.
It was better than, yeah. I think they felt bad.
I'm disappointed now.
They felt bad because they asked me for my credit card like 3 times because I kept typing it wrong. And then she was like, okay, it can be 50% off now. So
that you got to try to do that often?
Next time I'll just give them the wrong number and make them feel like they typed it incorrectly. And then I'll get the discount. This was like $600. LN2 pots are like $300 to $500 depending.
Yeah, but you can use them forever. It's not like,
yeah.
Well, I've had my doers for 10 years, so depending on, maybe if you have bad luck, maybe you'll lose a doer, but.
Well, and then this, you could get it for cheaper too. I wanted a new one. Okay. Leviathan, Prim. Wow, we only have like 6 or 7. Cool.
Yeah, so the Geekbench limit was 55.25.
Okay.
So you know.
Thor and Tech Jesus together again. Just got my GN Modbat and pint glasses. Awesome, thank you. Ike44, DK17, nice job. Is it good to keep a 9900K at 1.45 volts? I mean, it's not like good.
Depends on what your temps are. So if you have really good cooling, probably not. But if
probably won't hurt it. You mean?
Yeah, it probably won't hurt it. But I mean, that's kind of on the high side.
It is on the high
I'd probably be anything lower than 1.4.
Yeah, my personal kind of target is like 1.4 for daily max. The entire universe, 199. What happened to doing fan reviews? Well, we just posted an update on the Patreon behind the scenes section. Corey Carrasco, 199. Can I use the GN mat with the Logitech Power Play? You could put the Power Play thing on top of the mat, and I don't think it would cause any issues. I think that only has an issue if it's a metal surface. Haven't tried it specifically, but I think you just put it on top of the mat, should be fine. And then last 3. Okay. Last 3. Corey Carrasco, 199. Can I use I got it already. Christopher Stolen, $50 Norwegian. Thank you. Why don't you use a hazmat suit for protection and liquid helium instead? I don't know. Why don't you go to the Arctic, Joe? Why don't you overclock
right?
there?
It wouldn't be cold enough. No, liquid helium is not very easy to work with, and it's also extremely expensive. If you think this is expensive, it's probably 10 times the cost, and then you also need at least probably around, I think it's 3 people to just even be able to use it. And what they really don't tell you too is that you also need to have the components to be able to use it. So like just because we can go 196 on this chip doesn't mean we can actually go, I think it was like 260 or 270.
It's like 4 degrees, or it's 4 Kelvin, I think.
Yeah, it's much, you'd have to do a different type of binning. Like
it's 4 over absolute zero.
Yeah,
it's really cold.
It's really cold. So it's very hard to work with, and it's very expensive. It's not really, to be honest, it'd just be way too much.
Yeah, and also it's a huge waste of helium.
It really is.
Hardware Numbers is one of the last 2. $10. Come on and push it. I was hoping you'd beat my score. Well,
he's got a good chip. I don't
send us your chip.
Yeah, right.
And then we'll send it back. Coleman is in $2. Why no B clock adjustment? We answered that, but because it was causing timer skew.
Yeah.
Which was creating invalid
big time.
results.
There's no way I could do it without a skew, or without it getting. And I'd rather show you like a good score versus something that's not right. So.
Yes. So that is it for the super chats. Thank you again for all the orders on the store and for watching the stream. we're still at like minus 187 over there, right?
Yeah, and
That
right
thing
now
is-
we're kind of done. I maxed
Yeah.
the chip out. I've tried all the different settings. Actually,
Let's get a shot of all this ice buildup though before
I
we
actually
break
want to
down.
try one setting. I wanted to try less of one thing.
There's a lot of ice on that.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to
I have an
heat up.
impulse to,
Don't touch it.
but I
Don't
really,
touch it.
but
Don't touch it. I had a friend do that when we were doing, actually I think it was the 9900K, we were about to break the R15 record.
Mhm.
And he did that, he touched it. When he touched it, it fell into the rim and it instantly failed right after that. I was like, no! and then we couldn't get that score back. We tried like several times
Yeah.
after it and I was like, that's why you don't do that. It's so funny.
so that's the bench. There's a bit of water there.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be. Sometimes it's actually good with this one because there's no water. It's just cold.
Yeah.
But there's there's also a lot of Vaseline under there because remember we were having the setups yesterday where I was like, oh, it's just too wet. Then I just loaded it up today so that we're hoping that we could bench the whole time
Yeah.
and not have an issue.
So that's gonna be it, guys. We'll do another stream tomorrow. And let me reread. This one person says, "I seriously missed my own super chat." I will reread yours just because I caught that. Yours was, "Thank you so much for actual depth, controlled variable testing, and including OC graphs. P.S. Please make an XXL MOSFET." I said we are bumping that higher on our priorities because we got your message and some others. So thank you, and we will keep doing the controlled testing.
Yep.
All right. So tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern time. I don't care about standard or daylight savings or whatever. The time on the East Coast. There's one of them. And that's
It's
the
a
time.
big coast too. I mean, like.
Stop it. So that way, the time in New York, let's do that.
Yes,
The time
just
in
do
New
New
York
York.
City. The time in New York City, 1 p.m.
New York City time.
Yes. And that will be tomorrow.
Will not conform.
So a little under 24 hours from now. And we'll be doing the Kingpin card. I'll show that one last time. But we still have to prep it today. So Joe and I still have a long day ahead of us. But we haven't done much any pre-testing on this other than what I've done.
Yeah.
So there's the PCB.
So pretty.
There's the LN2 pot. And yeah, we just got to prep it and see how far the 2080 Ti will go with liquid nitrogen. But I'm positive that no matter what, Vince will be disappointed in us.
Probably.
Because I'm sure he's the king. He is the kingpin after all. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for buying stuff on the store. You can find Joe's channel linked in the description below. You should subscribe to him if you haven't. He's got some LN2 content and discussion over there.
Also, if you want my shirt, beardedhardware.com.
That's right, beardedhardware.com to pick up this shirt. Earlier we talked about how Joe is going to need another design revision later because when his beard covers up the beard on the shirt, he'll have to lower the beard on the
There we
shirt.
go. Go down here.
Yep.
Then it'll just get awkward.
So, that's it. We're going to stop. What OC did he reach? 5550 megahertz.
Yeah, R15.
R15. And
I think the memory might be off a little bit, so Geekbench is not necessarily the same.
yeah, so for people jumping to the very end here, it is 5550 megahertz, 1.7 to 1.85 volts depending, and then 2512 was our final Cinebench score, 3600 megahertz memory, CL something.
Yeah, I think, yeah, that's pretty much right.
Cool. All right. Thank you everyone for watching. I'm going to end the stream now, so check back tomorrow and subscribe for more. We'll see you all next time.